What is good, everyone? We're just gonna get right to it.
Oh wow, no intros again?
No intros again for the second week in a row.
Wow.
Let's get to the shits, gentlemen. Let's get to the shits.
Y'all are chilling with villains right now. No introduction needed. But in case y'all forgot, I'm here joined by Zoom, Clown Prince, Magneto, and a very first special guest of the year.
Hey,
TheNiceCast. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen, for having me. It's long overdue.
Yes, it is.
Sure.
Yeah, man.
The creator of our logo.
I was just about to say, yeah. I
wanted gotta plug him in there.
I was gonna do that too. I was just about to ask that myself.
That's why I wanted to do it first. I wanted us to do it first before he did it.
Exactly.
But then I realized that'd be corny because I already did that and doing like the pre-pro, and I'm like, man, I can't recycle that joke again. It's gonna force y'all to laugh twice, and it's not gonna be like, what are we doing here?
So since you are chilling with villains, Karan, you need to pick a villain. So I know you don't have to do it right now because I'm putting you on the spot. So we can wait till after. So get your thoughts flowing.
You all can crown me a villain by the end of it.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
He's setting the bar already.
Word. It's like, yo, guys, take him off the meeting real quick. Like, let's discuss this off.
I already have an idea.
Oh yeah? Okay, I can't wait to hear it.
Lex Luthor, BBS.
So I like that.
Just shouts it out.
Yo, man.
Come on.
You just made my night, bro.
No question. I fucking love him as a villain. I think he's fucking phenomenal.
Facts. I have to ask you, gentlemen, is Eunice a special guest on here? What is the deal with Eunice? Because I was kind of hoping heuld be on here.
He hasn't been a special guest in a while.
So
perfect. Call out his bitch ass.
Oh my God. No.
Just joking. I'm just joking.
Time out.
But yo, all right, tell me.
So all right, back. Come on. Here we go. So Eunice is our guy. Literally lives 10 minutes away from me.
Okay.
We've had him on 3 to 4 times already.
Yeah.
So obviously we knew about, the ongoing beef between y'all.
Yeah.
But we've always discussed amongst the 4 of us. We're like, yo, like we need to really, we don't want to get involved with this.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we also do in a sense of like, we want everyone to just patch things up because the 6 of us just spitting facts and just talking shit would be a great podcast.
It would be.
So, I mean, hey, you called it. You said it. We didn't.
we were like, yo, let's just stay quiet.
Word.
I have no beef with Eunice, just for the record, if you listen to this. I have no beef. I think Eunice is a talented dude, and I wish him well.
It's all love, fam.
It's right.
So when I called him a bitch ass, I only partially
But no, we understand. I'll let him know. Like, yo, listen to this, and then maybe for the next one, or when both y'all available, the 6 of us will hop on.
I honestly don't even know what the issue is. I really don't know what the issue is.
So I'm not gonna speak for him. Because I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is. I know. I know it maybe has something to do with a tweet
or a meme.
Like, in regards to like people that have the account of like real world of blank and like basing.
I was actually bigging him up because I said that. I was actually bigging him up because I said that he spawned so many world of accounts.
He did.
Oh, so you're saying that they're his sons?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's love. I
was like, I don't know. Like, I thought that'd be a compliment. If you saw a bunch of like cast accounts, you'd be like, oh shit, Sons of the NiceCast. I'd be like, all right, cool. Someone's noticing.
Yo, and that's something like we'll revert to after we do our breakdown of Suicide Squad because I wanna talk to you about that because you at one point on Instagram were the most hated comic book account ever.
If I think he still might be. I don't even know. I feel like the hate has died down.
Because he changed. Because he changed his whole postings and everything, so people can't really say nothing.
I had a DM today telling me to kill myself because
never mind.
I pointed out that like this whole Karen thing of just calling white women Karen. I was like, I'm not gonna call white women Karen because in 20-30 years it's very much possible that could be a racial slur in its own way. Like it could warp into that. And people are like, "Oh, how do you dare you say that? Are you comparing the N-word to Karen?" I'm like, y'all don't even like.
Yeah,
can y'all just
you're
think
just
about what the fuck I'm saying for a second?
Exactly. Yeah, they
right?
think
Because
everything
like
that's
if like in terms of like if Raj or something became like this slight towards Indians, you could take it as a social media joke. Like a lot of stuff starts as a social media joke, but if you were to like look at it years down the line, you don't know what it could warp into. Like Raj could be something highly offensive. And like when someone talks about Karen, they're not talking about Karen in an endearing way. No one is saying I want to go hang out with Karen. Or let's call Karen over. Everyone is like trashing Karen. Oh, it's just a word.
Hold on.
So yeah, that's
I feel that. Yo, and dude, like we're Ariel's gonna record like his own separate thing after the podcast for the whole like George Floyd thing, because that's a separate podcast on its own. Like we could talk about that
100%.
It's hard to shift off that.
You know what? We could, if you guys want, I'm down for that talk. We could even do the Suicide Squad stuff and then get into some of that too, if you gentlemen want to. However you guys want to set it up.
No matter to me.
Yeah, during commercial break, we'll like.
We'll bring it back.
We'll bring it back.
Because I ain't got shit to do for like
on a side note, though, you know what I hear in the background? Because Alex is over.
BBS.
Yep.
What I want to know is why do you have the seductive lights on for this podcast?
You see, it's right around the bed.
Why you got the red room and like lavender lights on? What is this?
He's trying to get you
to
come back to the podcast.
The thing is that this is the color scheme for Suicide Squad.
Y'all already got me. I'm a cheap date, you know.
Cheap date.
Skip dinner.
You just gotta hit me up on Zoom and I'm down. That's it. That's all it takes.
Nah, all we had to do was get verified on Vero, and we was like, "Yo, we got him locked now."
Are you verified on Vero? I can't recall.
Yeah,
you are. Okay, cool. Because I can get you all.
Yeah, went through the whole process. I talked to somebody. They were mad cool through email. I was like, "Yo, stay safe." They were like, "Yo, you too." I was like, "Bad." Like,
like how's your mom?
Don't say safe.
Yo, speaking of which, so before we actually start getting into the breakdown, we're gonna get into some recent news, and also what I want to bring up to you is I watched the full Ultimate edition of your podcast with Ray Fisher on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
nice shout out!
I need you a round of applause for that because that was lit.
Hey, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for
but one thing I want to say, Ray Fisher his voice belongs on one of those meditation apps. His voice, I was like,
he's on that list with Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, like I was just like, I'm listening to him.
I want him narrating my life. Like if it's not Morgan, I'll take Ray.
His voice belongs on a meditation app with those lavender lights.
Yo, perfect
make that
combo.
Happen. Yeah, make that happen.
Like that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna make that happen. But and then when I seen Zach hop on, I was like, wow. I was like, that is fucking awesome. So where were you? This is one of those things when the Snyder Cut got announced. Where were you? Were you watching the live?
I was
Henry?
Yeah, I was on that Vero Man of Steel live.
Yeah,
and it was weird because in a weird way, it was kind of like I was expecting more of a reveal to it, but he did it so casually. So it was kind of like anticlimactic in a weird way.
OD.
I may have balls to talk on social media and shit, but I was not about to say that in that moment. that was a little anticlimactic.
Like, hey,
I was
Zach,
not about to put that on.
I was
not about to put that on Twitter. Hey, speaking of the Ray Fisher podcast, you know what happened? A while ago, I joked about some shit. I said, like if an asteroid was to hit Earth, would the release the Snyder Cut movement be spending time with their families, or would they be just tweeting still about the release of Snyder Cut? So as soon as the Ray Fisher podcast went up, one of the first comments on the YouTube channel was like, "Is this the TheNiceCast that wasn't supporting the release of Snyder Cut movement?" Oh, I replied and I said, "Hope you're doing well." On my petty shit, and I was like, "Please stop spreading misinformation." This dude then had screenshots. My guy had receipts, and he posted a link to the screenshot of that tweet. And where was I going with this story? What the fuck was where was I going? So just to say that they still bring that up. So there's no way I was about to say that the reveal was
absolutely
anticlimactic. But hey, that it was wild when Henry joined. When Henry popped in, even that was like a little bit anticlimactic too. Like the transition of that. I don't know.
Like everything.
He just popped in out of nowhere. It was just like
Yeah, it was like
hey,
so casual.
I would have loved to see how they would have revealed it had there been like no pandemic. Like I feel like that would have.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
a
like
great point.
They definitely would have brought out like some fucking crazy shit. I feel like
it would have been
100%.
an event for sure.
Yeah.
But that shit, you're absolutely right. I remember when he was saying, he was like, "Oh, when the question got asked,
it's not in my control."
Yeah, I was at that point. I almost started to cry. Like I was like, yo, like I talked all this shit on Instagram. I talked all this shit on Twitter.
FBI shit.
Word, just for this man not to talk about it, and then Henry and his British accent's like, I reckon you should just do it. And I was like, oh, thank God. I was like the voice of reason. And then they did it. And I remember like we talked about it in the podcast when we talked about the release. And I looked at my girlfriend and I just like it like someone hit a buzzer beater, bro. I was like, let's go. I was like, it's about fucking time.
For real.
But it is the moment in time. And you can ask Mark because he used to send me stuff from your page all the time. And I was like, bro. I was like, bro, I don't fuck with this dude. Like, he's just posting shit to get people tight and to get clout. I swear to God, I won't even front. That's exactly what I thought. And then Mark's always like, Mark always sees the good in people. He's like, nah, dude, that's his opinion. Like, that's what matters. He's posting his opinion. I'm like, nah, fuck that. And then our page started to get like we started to get a little bit more clout. And whenever I would post my opinion and see people comment like, yo, y'all,
it's wild, isn't it?
You start to see how it is.
I was like, damn. I was like, this must be how the NiceCast feels. Like people are shitting on this.
Yeah, we are operating in a very toxic community. Like
100%,
100%.
And we had a whole podcast about this whole toxic.
Do y'all believe Russ when Russ says 14-year-old white kids run the internet? Do y'all believe that?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
To a certain degree, yes.
Okay, because I have started to think more about that. I'm like, I could definitely see that.
At least certain aspects of the internet,
in terms of starting like some bullshit. Yeah.
Well,
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
About just like, sorry, go ahead.
Nah, we always talk about just how we're gonna see more negativity on the internet than positivity. Like everyone who's gonna comment is like mostly negative.
Yeah, you're not gonna comment something positive. I always say that. No one's gonna go out their way to say something nice. It's always negative.
They'll like it, they'll appreciate it, and then they'll just keep scrolling. But someone who has something negative to say will always just, like
they're gonna comment. Thank you.
Thumb thugs, man.
Thank
you. Thumb thugs. I like that. Thumb thugs and harmony.
Fire emoji.
Right, fire emoji. Yeah, but
cornballs, bro. I don't take anything on the internet serious.
I started refraining from comment sections, like especially nowadays. Like
some comments are just like
how often do you go through your comments?
They cross the fucking line.
Like every post that like I'm interested in, I'm like, oh, let me see what people are saying in the comments. So I'm trying to stop doing that because I feel myself
you shouldn't. That's gonna
it's gross.
It gets overwhelming at times.
It does, but nah, man. So we just to break down some news. So since we were talking about the Snyder Cut, obviously that's the most popular thing right now.
Can I interject for a second and say what I appreciate? What I appreciate about you gentlemen is that y'all are really building this authentically. Because ever since the Snyder Cut, I've seen so many accounts just, and no shade to anyone, even though this is going to sound like shade. I've seen so many accounts just out of nowhere just popping up with like, yo, we got exclusives, our sources, this and that. It's like, first of all, if your source tells you some shit and you just take it to Twitter and then you hide it under the guise of my source, like they probably told you that shit in confidence. If you even have a source.
Yeah.
So now what we're doing is we're just chasing likes and retweets. And it's like, what the fuck is the point? What's the end game? Like, are y'all putting out some
source?
Yeah, like, are y'all putting out actually like, are you moving the conversation forward, or are you just getting on it because you want to show off that you got a source,
or are you just trying to get a story out? Like usually that's
exactly.
Yep.
And there's been so many since this goddamn cut was announced. It's like, oh, is it 20 million? Is it 30 million? Is it 40 million? Who gives a fuck?
Exactly, we're getting it. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care how much it costs. I don't care.
And that's exactly what I was going to bring up because, Warner Media chairman, Bob Greenblatt. Ooh, changed the last name.
Changed
the last name. So he was on the Recode Media's podcast, right, via Screen Rant, and he was like, I wish it cost 30 million. So I'm just like, whoo. I was like, Snyder finesse these boys. He was like, oh, you want me to come back to you? Oh, so yeah, like
y'all want me to say your shit? All right,
yeah, right. He's like, yo, how does 20 to 30 million sound? So I was like, 20 to 30 million.
Add a couple zeros, my guy.
That is such a sweet victory because he knows
it really
he's
is.
right.
Yep.
Bro, and you know what I love? This movie is going to be all his.
100%.
Like
yeah.
all like Zack Snyder's Justice League. Like, his name is bigger than the name of the team that's in the movie.
It really
Justice
is.
League.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder is bigger than Justice League right now.
But in all honesty, dude, like him and his wife, like they deserve this. Like
absolutely,
with everything
yeah.
that went like transpired in 2017. And why he had to step down and just everything, dude. Like, if there's no two people more deserving of this moment. So,
100%.
And again, even Deborah in her interview, like, said without HBO Max, it wouldn't be possible. But hey, things happen for a reason. And here you go. HBO Max, Snyder Cut.
And timing is very underrated as well, too. Yeah. You know, it's like maybe that wasn't the right time, but now it is with the streaming services in the thick of the competition. But also, you know, we joke about maybe some of the toxic elements of release of Snyder Cut, but they've done a lot for charity and the amount of money they've raised. And it's wild. They were literally there every single day campaigning hard for that film and organizing those events.
Getting billboards, fucking.
Right.
Yeah.
All that. Bro, billboards are not cheap. Especially in Times Square.
Bro, they flew a plane over WB that said release the Snyder Cut. Then flew another one to say thank you for releasing the Snyder.
I flew another one. Yeah. Congratulations.
Who's got the plane connects, right? Who just
right.
It's just the pilot. The pilot's just doing this shit on his lunch break. Yeah.
Well, it's funny you say that because we don't know who actually like pays attention to, like, I sent you guys yesterday, so I don't know if you knew this, Karan, but the guy on CNN, the reporter that got arrested, I'm not sure if you're aware. You probably saw it.
I saw the video.
Yeah. He is a huge Batman versus Superman fan.
Yes, no way.
And he played A Beautiful Lie on the piano.
Oh, that's one of my shits on the piano.
And then at the end, he wrote #release the Snyder Cut. So
oh my god!
I was like, wow, like what are the odds, right? Like, what are the fucking odds?
What are the odds?
So like you really don't know who, you know, you see that, like you guys are saying, maybe it is the pilot, just like, you know what, they released the Snyder Cut. I'm out here. I'm just gonna fly my plane a couple times. Like, who fucking knows?
Yeah.
But so still on this DCEU subject. So the DCEU couldn't have picked a better time, I think, to drop all this and do all this. Oh, not them specifically, obviously, like AT&T, Warner Brothers, because the Infinity Saga ended. The Skywalker Saga ended. So no real pop culture is going around right now.
We're in like the off season.
Marvel's starting up their next phase.
They planned this from the start, bro.
Yeah.
So they're just like, yo, this is when we're gonna drop everything. So, and do you
think there's a bit of a weird inversion happening with DC and the MCU? You think people are gonna start turning on the MCU a little bit and thinking maybe it's a little bit stale?
That thought kind of crossed my mind for a second, but I was like, it all depends on how the Snyder Cut is going to be received. It's all dependent on that, how Wonder Woman does. It's Wonder Woman and the Snyder Cut. Those two, if they're both like out of the park, then I think maybe people are going to start turning on Marvel a little bit, at least.
Wow.
I mean,
look at MCU
on Marvel. Wait.
I'm just trying to get
no. We mean like they're going to start like
bandwagoning maybe the DCE.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, but then the people who do that are just late to the party then, because if
bro, it's social media, bro.
But,
whatever is hot.
The party doesn't start till they get there.
I swear to God, I saw so many like Zack Snyder fans just out of nowhere pop up since this cut.
Same thing with when Ben stepped down. Oh, don't leave, Ben.
Yeah,
it's like, but you guys were roasting him.
But he was a murderer in BVS, right?
Yeah,
that's what y'all was saying. That's what y'all was saying.
Yo, we're about to get to a BBS podcast right now. Yeah.
I don't mind.
Keep going, JP. Keep going.
Well, Henry is in talks to appear in multiple DCEU films. So I don't know. Karan, you were saying just now that you're like, yo, if a source tells you, you stay quiet. So I think
even that
I think you know more about all this.
Even that story has bounced back so much. It went from like he's coming back to like now he's in preliminary talks.
Yeah,
Then it went to like
movies.
They're trying to figure out how to bring him back. Is it going to be a cameo? Is it going to be a full film? And it's like, fam, just shut the fuck up, please. We just like once it's ready to go out, it's ready to go out. That's just my opinion.
I always believe in just hearing it from the person actually.
Exactly.
We always say it like
he always says
it in the chat. It's like, did it come from Zach? And I'm like, no. Then like he's like, then I don't care.
Yeah, that'd be downer, like, okay. Bro.
100%.
A downer.
Nah, but he has a point because it's like everyone's gonna say something different, and it gets to the point where you don't know what to believe, what not to believe.
Yeah, so you can only believe it from the people who are involved in the actual project.
And also, how easy is it to run with a story like, well, preliminary talks could have him in Black Adam, and like
then all of a sudden, hey, he's in talks to appear in Black Adam. It's like, no, we didn't. It's a possibility of like it's like the game of telephone, honestly.
So where do y'all think it is the best to add Superman back in? Obviously after
Man of Steel 2, you know?
Man of Steel 2.
I don't know, maybe.
So everyone's just like, fuck a cameo, give us Man of Steel 2.
He can do it all.
Directed by Zack Snyder. No J.J. Abrams. No.
I don't want
Matthew Vaughn.
Yeah.
Yo, would you want it? Would you want it? Would you want it written by Damon Lindelof?
I would love it. Damon's great.
That'd be.
But he expressed that he doesn't really have. I don't know if you could.
Well, I think he meant directing aspects.
Oh, okay. So in writing, in terms of writing it, everybody who didn't like Watchmen, they're gonna be like,
oh my god!
Watchmen was a banger, and Watchmen is
no question,
100 times more relevant after this weekend.
I was just Watchmen now.
Yeah,
it's just like, huh? And to those people say, "Oh, it's so political." Watchmen's fucking political. Like, what?
It's not political. It's
not. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
what did I say? What did I say? I was like, it's not about being political. It's pointing out a problem in society. Like, not saying, "Oh yeah, Republicans are good or Democrats are good or whatever." It's not about that.
It's really annoying. But in terms of back to the whole Man of Steel stuff, it's just as long as AT&T, because I'm not even gonna say Warner Brothers anymore, because they're daddy now.
AT&T.
So if AT&T decides to continue doing business with Zach, I think it is in their best interest to continue pushing this product out, because
it's a great story for them.
It is literally, like I said, it's an alley-oop. It's just like, fam, run with it. Like, why stop?
And if you really think about it, for example, we'll take the biggest directors in the MCU, the Russo brothers, all the financial accolades. Could they get as many people to sign up for Disney Plus as Zach did for HBO Max? I don't think so. It's just different in that regard. Because so now you have to say like, okay, there's value in a film having the all-time box office record. There's value in a film building or breaking $1 billion at the box office. But there's also immense value in just the fucking passionate fan base that Zach has.
Absolutely, yeah.
To where 4 years, 3 years can go by, 5 years can go by. People are going to celebrate the release of BVS forever moving forward.
For sure.
And we say it all the time, dude. BVS is the most controversial,
hands down,
probably movie of all time.
How long has it been?
Over 4 years. Over 4 years.
Yeah. Damn, 4 years.
No one talks about Civil War anymore. People stopped talking about Avengers a while ago.
Because it's nothing. It's like it's the same old shit essentially.
Look at Ariel's face. It was like, yo, whoa. He's like, you could like both. You could like both.
No, of course you can like them both. But just one's a lot better than the other. That's all.
But no, that's true. And I asked that question the other day in our group chat, and I was like, "Is Zach the most controversial comic book director till this day?" And like, it was just,
I believe so. Yeah.
Like, it was just yes across the board.
I've asked Zach directly. I'm like, people think you're polarizing. Do you know why they feel like you're polarized? You're like, yo, I don't get it. He's like, I'm just making the movie I want to make. He's like, if that
crazy
results
part.
in me being polarized, and he's like, I can live with that.
But the thing that's crazy is that regardless of what news comes out, and actually I want to read a tweet that actually, Junior, you retweeted this. It's something that I think is extremely profound and something that people need to actually champion. Is, I'll say it needs to be etched on my headstone. Every superhero's worst enemy is the fan base that thinks it owns the character and can dictate what they are or aren't supposed to be. And then the guy commented, some dude commented after and said, I'm that weird kind of fan that actually fucking likes the characters a lot and is always excited to see new interpretations and ideas instead of defying one particular version. Nuts, right?
Crazy.
Like Star Wars, like people don't like the new Star Wars.
Exactly.
It's more
like
content.
People, like people are either blinded by nostalgia or just so stuck in whatever freaking mindset they are that like something has to be a certain way, and it's just like it's toxic and it's obviously boring, and it's just like, yo, shut up and just like appreciate that it's even being made.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because if like I don't mind the fan outcry or the opinions of people saying they don't like something or they're against something, but also appreciate that it's getting made, because for all we know, we could have gotten the past 10 years of just straight trash. You know what I'm saying? Like it could have been like some real circus of just comic book films that would have just been worthless. But that's not what we're in right now.
When I was making that post, you know, for the like best comic book trailers, right? And of course I got stuck in my ways and just started watching all the BVS trailers. I was like, wow. Like, because I hate that take that Zach doesn't understand Superman. What?
It's a horrible take.
What?
Horrible take.
Bro.
Really bad
Zach
take.
reinvented Superman.
I'm with that. I'm with that because, yo, like, an alien comes down from space and we're just going to accept him. We don't even accept alien people. We don't accept immigrants. And we're going to expect a dude from outer space
who has superpowers?
Bro, and when the senator was talking, she was like, the question is, should we hold him accountable? I'm like, yo, this movie, I was like, I wanted to watch it in that moment so bad, but I made a vow to not watch it until right before Zack Snyder's Justice League.
It doesn't matter if it...
Nah, it matters to me. I made a vow to Zach and to the fan base. I'm keeping it.
Nah, BVS is fucking different. It really is. And I had no idea that people really cared this much about Superman. If you go on Twitter, it's like everyone has an idea about what Superman should be, and it's like, well, y'all weren't really supporting Man of Steel when it came out. If y'all were really Superman fans, why the fuck didn't you go watch Man of Steel? And
that movie's stupidly underrated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's
and
like
under talked about.
Are we just want like people just want to be contrarians for no fucking reason? Like if you could be a contrarian, great. If it's natural to you, be a contrarian. You don't just do it just because like, oh, this
guy's
Superman.
doing it. Yeah, exactly.
Because he's not even edgy. He's not even an edgy Superman. He's not even a mopey Superman. I would say it's like those are
confused.
Maybe. Yeah,
maybe.
Bro, I did not like Superman until I watched Man of Steel.
Same.
So many people have said that.
Yep.
Brian put me on. I remember he was like, "Yo, you got to watch Man of Steel." And this was a little bit like it was already on Blu-ray and DVD and all that. And I was like, nah, dude. Like, I'm not really a big Superman guy. Like Batman all the way. He's like, nah.
Yeah.
This shit is different. I watched it, bro. Fell in love with Superman.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it in the theaters either. I watched it.
I wish that was an experience.
I
was a hell of.
And the craziest part is Man of Steel and BVS are not even dark films.
Nope.
I think that is the biggest freaking misconception about BVS. Is like it kind of reverse engineers its optimism. So it's gonna take you on like a roller coaster ride before making you be like, all right, men are still good. There is still hope and optimism. There are still ideals to get behind. It's gonna take you through some shit before it gets to that point, but I ultimately think it's actually a film that promotes optimism. And for Superman to be the character that is the driving force for everything that happens in that film, it's like, okay, maybe like as soon as BVS came out, they were calculating screen time of like, oh, Henry Cavill. This is the first time I ever saw anyone calculate anyone's screen time too.
Yeah.
And like lines of dialogue. Like, what are we doing? Yeah. So they were like counting that shit. And it's like, okay, but everything in BVS is linked to Superman. It literally starts, the film is telling you directly that this is mankind's reception or reaction to Superman. Mm-hmm. So he's the driving force for everything. He's the driving force for everyone's arc. Mm-hmm. So when we see Lex hit madness, it's Superman. If we see Batman or Bruce go to say or be like devoid of hope and then go into saying men are still good, that is because of Superman. So
Suicide Squad is because of Superman.
Exactly.
Yeah. It is. If you think about it.
It is.
So Zach's genius, the Zach's genius is having Superman be the anchor of those 5 films or his ideal 5 films. And this is something I've also thought about. My bad, I'm talking a lot, but I've also thought about
your shit off, my guy.
This is where I feel like Warner Brothers and Zack had the biggest disconnect in the sense that I think Zack went in and said, all right, I want to do 5 films with Superman as the anchor. I think Warner Brothers was like, nah, we need you to make a MCU competitor. Right. And then Zack is like, okay, I got to figure out a way to create this universe as well. And I think at some point they were just like, all right, this is not what the fuck we're thinking. Like, don't do it this way. This is not the way to do it. And that I think is fundamentally different to say, all right, this is going to be a 5-film arc with Superman driving everything, and you can include the Justice League, and then someone coming in and saying, no, but we need this for the next 10, 15 years. We need these characters to grow on film. So, yeah, it's pretty wild.
They thought that they could get an entire kind of copycat kind of vision, because I feel like that's also what's held the DCEU back, is trying to catch up. And I think dude,
who wants that? I wouldn't want that.
I want them to be them.
I would have liked to see the 5-movie arc finish, and then you see the characters either continue to be heroes or retire. Like Batman probably.
But would you guys still want those solo movies?
Why not? If they're
well,
good,
Wonder Woman's done in the past. You can totally do solo movies with her.
Yeah. What about Aquaman?
Aquaman. You could do an Aquaman movie in between. Well, no, you can't actually.
We about to do their new slate. Like,
I don't know.
They can do.
I don't know. Maybe they could. Who knows?
What do you consider dark? Like what? Like because I mean, that's an interesting. I never heard anybody say that the BVS isn't a dark film.
Is Watchmen dark?
I think Watchmen is dark. I would call Watchmen dark.
Hell yeah.
The film and the TV show.
Yeah, both.
Yes.
Yeah, I was referring to the movie, but yeah, both. Yeah, exactly.
Dark because it asks you a fundamental question of, in terms of like, what are you really willing to do? Exactly. And like, what are we really willing to do to? Are we willing to dispose of an entire city just to create peace? Because something's got to give. It's a give and take to some extent, right? So I would say those are really dark themes that a lot of people don't necessarily want to accept, because we want to think that, oh, everything is going to be just, a happily ever after type.
No, I hate endings like that. I don't, not that I hate, but they're corny. Like it's just.
And I think
it's not realistic.
Exactly. And the MCU's flaw, I think, in many ways, is making that the precedent of like everyone's going to have their happy ending, which is why I think a lot of people looked at Captain America like, that doesn't make any fucking sense at all, what they did with Cap or Incredible Hulk or whoever. It's like not everyone's gonna have this cookie cutter.
Karan, how dark is Thor: The Dark World? Is that a dark movie? Because that's considered
you don't have to say nothing, dark. You don't have to say nothing.
You're just dumb, bro.
Dude. The fact that qualifies as dark for them is absolutely fucking insane.
That says a lot.
It was a really trash attempt. But in terms of the news as well, the Ayer cut has come up.
Go to commercial, because it's time to talk about Suicide Squad. It's time. And we got to talk about the Ayer cut. The Ayer cut.
And we back.
All right, I got another hot take before we get into Suicide Squad.
Fresh commercial.
Let's go.
The Dark Knight, because we were talking about dark films.
Shit.
The Dark Knight is the darkest superhero film ever. Darker than BVS, darker than Watchmen, darker than everything. If you go back and consider all the fucked up things that happen in The Dark Knight, the judge is getting blown up.
Perfect.
The lieutenant, hospitals are getting blown up.
Perfect.
The lieutenant
Harvey turns.
Perfect.
Harvey turns.
Look at Junior, bro. He's just like,
Rachel is getting blown up.
Well, the Joker won at the end of the day.
100%.
Like, he turned Harvey. And it's like
that's what he wanted to
Batman,
do.
Exactly. And Batman had to resort to taking the blame. And that's one of my favorite Batman moments of all time. Where he's
100%.
Like, I'm whatever Gotham needs me to be. I'm just like,
The
whole
Dark Knight is, bro. That shit is different, bro. It's different.
Yeah.
That final shot when he's just riding into the dawn or whatever, like the light.
Jim Gordon's narrating. I'm just like,
with the cape flailing in the background, bro. That's some next level shit, bro.
Chris, come back, Christopher.
Please.
But darker than Watchmen?
I would say The Dark Knight is darker than Watchmen.
Wow.
I can see that. I can see it.
That's interesting.
I still think Watchmen's a little darker. But
yeah, because like half of New
involves,
York City got fucking.
well, not just New York.
No,
every
but, like,
city
the world,
in the
yeah.
globe.
But like, if you see, from The Dark Knight, you see people's like their stances in life, like their moral codes, their like everything they base their life around.
You're talking about the boat scene.
Yeah,
they're like, yo,
essentially, yeah, that
you
too, and but no,
You
not
hold
just the
that in
boat
your
scene.
hand.
Forgot about
Not
that
just
shit.
not just the boat scene though. Batman ends up inadvertently taking a life.
That might be the most perfectly paced film of all time.
Oh yeah,
like from beginning to fucking end. Like it starts with the Joker, then it goes into you see
It
Batman.
doesn't feel like 2 hours and 20.
No, not at all.
yeah.
And on top of that, you get also another moral stance, I guess, or moral question is about surveillance, because
yeah,
Fox says, "Yo, this is wrong."
Yeah,
and this is wrong.
He's like, Mr. Wayne, I don't really know about all this.
My paycheck is nice, but
and then Bruce says, "Yo, I input something that it will get destroyed as soon as we're done using it, so like it won't have to be a thing ever again." But we all know it's not that easy. We all know that the NSA is a thing and stuff. But I'm not gonna get into that. It's not the podcast for that.
They're listening right now, bro.
I know. Yo, FBI, NSA, if you're listening, somebody for the back. So,
yeah, if you're listening to this, Batman v Superman is a masterpiece. Don't you ever fucking forget it.
Yes.
I love how we always refer back to that one, no matter what it is. We can be talking about literally anything. They'll be like, yo,
BVS gets mentioned more
Almost
than
every
Charlie.
No.
We always we always mention we always mention this dude Emergency Awesome from YouTube, Charlie, because he's always like he's very knowledgeable like of the comics and like stuff like that. So every podcast like we drop his name and mark his tight because he's like stop mentioning him. So I'm like nah, like I gotta give him his props. Like I got this source, he's my source, so I gotta
honestly like at this point everyone should just assume. If you don't think that we know something, just you can assume that it's Charlie.
That's from Charlie, yeah. But that's the same thing with BVS. We always kind of bring it into an argument for whatever reason because it's a valid argument. It's a valid point being made from BVS.
You had a tweet today that said that BVS is creeping up for you. What kind of prompted that? I'm curious.
Oh yes, I did tweet that. I said it, man.
Yes. Last night. It's like, yes,
it was like literally a couple hours.
Yeah.
Verizon, that's
okay.
Bro, you know how many fucking people have HBO? And I was telling them, I'm like, regardless, if you like superheroes, if you like DC, whatever, like they're gonna promote when Zack Snyder's Justice League gets out. They're gonna promote. That's gonna be on the top of their thing. Eventually, people are gonna click on it just to be like, oh, okay, like whatever. You want to watch Justice League tonight? Like, let's watch it. Or like they'll just have it on in the background. So either way, like HBO, like they're going to win. They're going to profit.
Just think about it this way: how many people do you think didn't know about HBO Max, but know about it now? Because on every photo that we reposted and that we posted on our story that had released the Snyder Cut, or like Zack Snyder's Justice League, you have an HBO Max logo on the bottom, and every fucking caption is like only on HBO Max. People are gonna be like, "What's HBO Max?" They're all gonna fucking know about it, bro. Yep. This brought it to. It just gave it so much more clout than it ever had
HBO
before.
Max has been going hard with their social media. Whoever's running that Twitter account,
brilliant. And AT&T, yeah.
They're just letting these.
They're essentially just interacting with the fandom. They're like feeding the fandom everything that the fandom would want to hear, right? Yep. So you put a GIF or a GIF of Ben Affleck or Batman with the bat signal. And it's like, oh, you never know who could answer the call.
Right, and now it's like speculations, right? It's like, oh, is he coming back? Is he not? So, okay, Karan, do you think he's gonna come back at all for any more? I think the only way he comes back for more is if Zach's involved. I think that's the
100%. Yeah, it has to be in the Snyderverse.
That's the only way I see Ben coming back.
It would be ballsy. It would be ballsy to have a Batman film for streaming only, and then having another Batman film that's theatrical. Yeah.
But like. Why? Yeah, why not?
Damn. But why a Batman solo movie, JB? Or are you talking about like him continuing?
Continuing like just showing up. Like, so let's say, because I don't know where Warner Brothers, AT&T, DC is gonna go with all this, because they have, again, like we said, they have an alley-oop. Like they can literally, especially with the Flash, like Flashpoint, they can do anything right now.
They could.
And
But
so
they
it's
could
like
also
I
easily fuck it up.
Cliffhanger, like you said.
Yeah, they all can fuck it up.
The
But
margin for error is very small.
right. But I think it all depends how Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to be presented, if it's going to be a series or movie, and how that's going to end. That's going to set the precedent for the rest of the universe. Because on HBO Max it does have DC Extended Universe, meaning we're going to keep this shit going. This is still a thing, right? But they still also have, the movies that are outside of that, like Joker. And so, maybe, I don't know if Robert Pattinson's Batman is going to be outside of that, or if they're going to tie it in. Barry goes back in time. When he goes to the Batcave, it's Robert Pattinson instead of Ben Affleck. Who knows? That would be fucking dope. I would personally love to see that.
If you're Matt Reeves, do you gentlemen feel slighted if you're Matt Reeves in any way?
No.
Nah, you still getting the movie.
My own film. I'm getting my own film creatively.
Do you think there's pressure on him of like telling him like, all right, Matt, you got to make this a prequel of sorts?
No.
Depending on it all depends on how the studio is going to react. I mean, if the studio actually pressures their director, they're going to come out looking like the biggest weebs ever. Like
true.
Especially
after
this whole shit.
Not worry about time.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Just let.
Good. That's all I care about.
Exactly.
Yeah, like
whether you decide to connect it or not is whatever to me. Honestly, I don't give a fuck. But like, you have to figure out what it is and just stick by it.
Like to me on that point, Karan, it's like everyone that's talked about the film so far, I've heard nothing but like people that are working on it, like the actors, like the director, producer, anybody, the writer. Everyone's just like, yo, this shit is about to hit differently. And I'm just like, so if I'm at Reeves, I'm chilling. I'm just like, yo, like once we start, by the way, production might start back up in August, according to Colin Farrell, who's playing the Penguin. But again, it's all dependent because he's like, yo, there's 400 to 500 people on set. Like, exactly. And in August, we don't know if that's going to be a possibility yet. Yeah. But he was saying like, they're like doing things that like, certain days there'll be this amount of people doing this. And then certain areas, this amount of people doing that. Yeah. But no,
even that film is a weird byproduct of the DCEU because as soon as like Matt Reeves was announced, you have Ben saying like "Welcome to the Batcave," and for the longest time, it was like he was at Comic-Con saying, "Oh, if Matt Reeves asked me to play an ape, I'd play an ape for that guy. Like he's a brilliant director."
Right.
And now you're gonna tell the audience that, all right, this is completely disconnected, so don't think of any of the DCEU stuff. So I'm really now curious how Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League affects even like Aquaman 2. Because even Aquaman, I felt like was not really in line with what Zack wanted to do with that character or his vision for that character. So
that's an interesting take. Why do you say that?
Yeah, I was gonna.
Oh, hold on. I know why you said that. I remember you pointed it out that you're like, wow, like DC made their first MCU film or something like that, right?
Successful MCU film.
Yeah.
Because they tried it with Suicide Squad, theatrical Suicide Squad, kind of played out like an MCU film in an odd way.
David Ayer said that today. He's like, Deadpool, the success of Deadpool is what caused Warner Brothers to flake and be like, no,
the downfall of BVS.
Yes.
Right?
Both. Everything combined. They're like, yo, we got to change it up. We got to make this more of like a comedy, like corny. So, yes.
Beyond corny.
So yes, go
lucky over there and then let you guys be dark and broody. And I like that shit.
So yeah, Karan, why did you say that about Aquaman?
I feel like Aquaman was just too overly simplistic. It's like the film is just holding your hand from beginning to end. And I kind of just feel like it really played out like an MCU film to me.
What about Shazam? But you like Shazam?
I like Shazam. I actually like Shazam a lot.
I don't like Shazam.
No? Nobody here likes Shazam?
I like it.
Boy!
Damn.
That's crazy, right? That's crazy.
But see, like that suits Shazam to an extent, like a family.
Right, I understand that. I understand.
That's my whole point.
When you're looking at Aquaman, when you're exploring those themes of that character, like there should be crazy power dynamics. There should be like, I'm gonna stab you in the back. There's gonna be a bunch of things for the throne that you should be some doing.
Game of Thrones shit underwater.
And
that's a dope take. I like that shit.
Me and Karan gonna go write the script. For Aquaman.
Write the script.
Stop what you're doing
right
now.
Go write the script. But okay, so like
Junior, how many times you watch Aquaman?
I watched it 3 times.
I watched it twice.
Mark?
I watched it a few times, probably like 4.
It's like I didn't really like it.
First time
Twice?
around,
I liked it. I liked it.
I only watched it once, bro. Now I'm just thinking, like, did I really like that movie? I don't know if I did, bro.
Actually, Brian was pressing me because he's like, "Yo, how the fuck you didn't like it, bro? This shit was lit."
And I'm telling y'all, gentlemen, this right now. They are lucky, or Jason Momoa is lucky that broke $1 billion. Because if that didn't break $1 billion, they would have got him the fuck out of there. Really? My personal opinion. Right, if that film does Suicide Squad numbers, shit is a wrap. Shit is a wrap. Then it's just Gal. It's just literally Gal because she's so bankable.
So he's secure right now, though. You think
he's secure because of that $1 billion?
Because of his fan base, bro.
But see, they don't realize 20%.
Sorry,
is go ahead.
Fucking girls that like love Jason Momoa. I just want to go watch out.
No, it's the 20%.
It wasn't even in America. It wasn't even in America.
In China, right?
Like China and Brazil, I believe.
Shout out Brazil. Shout out Brazil.
When I tell you, I'm pulling it up right now. When I tell you, gentlemen, how much that movie made domestically, I think y'all will be shook.
Like it made nothing domestic.
Guess how much it made?
200 mil.
335 million domestic.
So the other 700 million was
worldwide.
Wow.
International.
Birds of Prey did 84 million domestic. God damn.
Wait, hold on, Karan. Did you like Birds of Prey?
I have yet to see Birds of Prey.
Huh?
I forgot about that movie completely.
I haven't watched Birds of Prey. I have no intention of watching.
Wait. Hold on.
You could put in the future toxic masculinity meme if you want to right here.
But wait.
I have no intent of watching Birds of Prey ever.
I thought didn't you put on YouTube like your review for Birds of Prey?
Nah, that was a social experiment I was running because I was gonna be like, if you want to hear me talk about this film, you gotta pay for it because I'm trying to tell people that there's value in all
I remember that.
Yo,
did it piss some people off? Let me tell you.
Oh no, it did. but all right, so before we get into that. Let's at least talk about Suicide Squad.
Let's bring it back to
for at least 5 minutes.
For at least 5 minutes.
Let's get. Right, let me ask you something. Let me ask you, gentlemen,
something.
Yeah. Since you gentlemen are up north, you've been to Six Flags, I presume.
Yeah.
You ever have that moment when you go to theme parks and you're like, "All right, I'm super hyped to be here."
Right.
For like the first hour, you're like super into it, but then you're just like, it just like fucking runs its course.
It's like repetitive.
Yeah,
you're waiting in line and you're just like, okay, like
that's how I feel just going to the mall, bro.
Or like, let's say you're like you start typing an essay and you're like, I have amazing ideas for this essay, but like just a couple of paragraphs and you're like, all right, I don't know where the fuck to take this. I don't know. I just want this to be over with, right? Because initially you're like, yo, if there's a 3,000 word limit, that's not bad because I got ideas. I could write that shit. But like, well, you get to 1,000 words, you're like, all right, fuck it. I don't know how I'm gonna make up the next 2,000. That is exactly how I feel about Suicide Squad. Where up until the point where the helicopter crashes, I feel like it's
right in mid. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like all right. I'm even though this may not be Ayer's vision or whatever. I'm like, I'm still enjoying myself. Right. But after that point, I feel like it's just a shit show. Mm-hmm. It's unwatchable. Like a bunch of shit is happening, and you're like, none of this makes any fucking sense story wise. Why is the Joker shit happening? Why is this happening? What is the dynamics of Joker and Harley's relationship? Like, you haven't built up to any of this bullshit.
Man, bro, reload. So many shots.
And it's unwatchable. Like, I tried to watch it again because we're having this talk, and just up until that point, I couldn't. I'm like, I can't put myself.
You didn't even finish the movie.
I couldn't finish it. And that's why the curiosity for the Ayer cut comes in. It's like, all right, is it going to be watchable from beginning to end? Exactly. Because if it is, I would say it's a success. I would say it's a success in that regard.
What I was going to ask you is, do you think the Ayer cut will be that much better?
No.
Wow.
I think if it gives us more Joker Harley moments, and if it ties into what they were initially planning of like domestic abuse and emotional abuse and shit like that, I think that'd be really fascinating to see.
And I think that would make Birds of Prey a lot better for everyone else who did watch it, because we would see exactly why she had to get over. Well, you didn't watch it, get on some, spoiler warning. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm not gonna spoil anything.
You could spoil it.
I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I'm just saying, like, because her whole arc By the way, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, fantastic casting, right? Can we all agree on that?
I can agree.
I disagree on that.
What?
If you want another hot take, I think that is the most.
Not reloaded yet, bro.
I think that
he's
is
got
the
extended
most.
mag quick reload, bro.
He got
Damn,
extended
son.
mag.
You need to drop the what are they doing? Battle rap, Don DeMarco. You need to drop the Don DeMarco soundtrack right here. I think that is the most overrated casting in comic book movie history. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn.
You heard it here first, people.
Now,
Who thinks that it's a great casting though? Here,
Now-
Junior, Ariel, Mark.
I think it works. I think it works.
Okay.
I think it works.
If the Ayer cut can change that, that is my man is tapping out. See, Junior, what you have to ask yourself is like, is this coming from my?
Those of you listening, Junior has left.
Shook. Junior, you have to ask yourself,
You can't hear you.
is it just because Margot Robbie is attractive that I like her as this? Or is she really that good as Harley Quinn? Or is her portrayal up until this point good as Harley Quinn?
TheNiceCast, thank you so much for joining us.
Man. This is my Zack Snyder's Justice League. This is about to be a one-time appearance before y'all get me the fuck out of here. Y'all may cut out my scenes from this podcast.
Bro.
No.
Yo, release the TheNiceCast cut.
Release the Quran cut, bro.
Release the Quran cut. Nah, yo. It's your opinion. But on this podcast, your opinion is wrong. I was joking. But no. I'm sorry. I walked out. But I'm completely joking.
Ask him that question, Karan. Ask him that question.
No, I know you're joking, but tell me why. Tell me why you feel that way.
Well, I thought so the first time we've ever gotten Harley wasn't even in comics, right? It was in Batman the Animated Series. And fucking phenomenal. Wait, hold on. Before I continue even further, Karan, what do you feel? What do you feel about Batman the Animated Series?
Overrated, SL.
There's the sale.
I'm just that was a joke. I'm joking around that.
What?
Like a belt-fed mag.
But if you want another hot take,
Got a backpack.
Superman the Animated Series may inch out Batman Animated Series just a tad.
So I disagree, but Superman the Animated Series is very underrated. Very underrated.
I guess because I didn't care about Superman back then. I didn't.
I did. I liked it because like they would cross over with Batman all the time. So I was like,
yeah.
But okay, so we got Harley, right? And seeing her.
Wait, Junior, let me challenge you because I just have this thought.
Yeah.
Let me challenge you on something. What did Ayer say earlier about the tweet about Deadpool? What did he say about Deadpool? Anti-hero?
Oh, got you. Hold
on. The reason I say that is he used the word anti-hero. What the fuck are they trying to make Harley Quinn now? An anti-fucking hero? Is Harley Quinn an anti-fucking Is Harley Quinn an anti-fucking hero?
So all right,
what the fuck are we doing here?
All right, is it all right? So let me ask you this then: is it Harley's portrayal or the way that they're writing her? Is it Margot's portrayal or the way that they're writing?
No, Margot is great casting. Her presentation is bad, my opinion. So when I say like overrated casting, what I mean by that is like
how they do it.
Yeah, that's what makes it overrated.
Got you. So
not just
if
her
they made her a villain, like you would be like, I'm all for this.
Give me the Zack Snyder version of Harley Quinn. Ooh. Give me the sleep with dudes and kill them, praying mantis, bite their head off type shit. Give me that shit.
Oh, speaking of which, do you watch the new animated show, the Harley Quinn animated show on the DC Universe right now? No,
I haven't. No, good.
It's hilarious.
Highly recommend it. Yo, your boy, shout out your boy Stu. I actually got real close with him. Like,
nice. Stu's a good dude. Shout out to Stu.
He's a good dude. So hold on, I'm trying to find that tweet he talked about with
I actually like that he mentioned that. While you look that up, that is
go ahead.
I'm glad that you spoke on that because I feel like there's a lot of overrated castings in general in Hollywood in terms of because I think what makes it overrated is the fan base that just pushes that.
It's the Twitter shit, like
the Stan accounts.
the Stan accounts.
That's what makes it just like, okay, shut up.
Cringy as hell.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you standing here?
Well, since
like, what are we really
Suicide
doing?
Squad, something that was really cringy was the scene where Harley is like getting dressed and like they're like super hypersexualizing her, and it's just like, why is this necessary? This is not a Michael Bay film, and it's not 2007. So why?
It's not a Michael Bay film.
You know what I'm saying?
No, 100%.
I can't wait to watch those Transformers movies. Oh boy!
But it's just that I don't see anybody else playing Harley now, but Margot though. Like, who else can really? So okay, Karan, let me ask you this: can anybody else play Deadpool but Ryan Reynolds? I know you got a little bit of beef for Ryan Reynolds though, because he's always talking shit about Green Lantern. It's like, why is he always on Green Lantern? It's like, all right, dude, it's over. Like, get past it.
Hey, I said this on Twitter. Green Lantern is a good MCU film.
Wow.
Listen.
What?
Gentlemen, you put Green Lantern in the MCU, that bitch has a 70% Rotten Tomatoes, nothing lower. You could even maybe say it could even be a little bit higher. You could give it a 74 Rotten Tomatoes if Green Lantern is in the MCU.
Where do you get that mindset from though? Like, why do you think that?
When's the last time you saw Green Lantern? Because I just recently.
Couple months ago.
Pretty recently, because we had to do a review on it.
A month ago,
okay.
Yeah.
It plays out like an MCU film. Like the arc and everything of it. It's like, all right, he's challenged a little bit. There's like this one-dimensional, two-dimensional villain, and then shit resolves itself by the end of it. That's it. Is that not an MCU film? It's like something. Ariel hates my guts, by the way. I was in his good graces for the Margot conversation. Now I'm
bro, I love this. I love this because it's
and anytime we get to piss off Ariel, it's always good for me.
This is hot take heaven, fam.
Bro, and you know what? That's fine because it's your opinion.
Exactly.
Like
it's lit, man.
Like not everyone
outside of this.
Like exactly, like it's like it's your opinion, and you're sticking by it, and you're not following the crowd. You're not like, oh, 100%. Like it's just like, yo, like I thought this was trash. I'm gonna say it's trash.
My issue with Ryan Reynolds is also the fetishizing, if that's a word, of celebrities. We're like, we could use the same meme template twice. We could use the same meme template twice, and motherfuckers will be like, oh. Stop recycling memes, or like, oh, this is an outdated meme. Ryan Reynolds can make the same Green Lantern joke for a decade now, close to a decade, and everyone is just gonna sit there and treat it like it's all right. Like, oh, fam,
I agree with that. It's like, okay, yeah, right.
Like, get over it.
And even adding it like to the Deadpool movie, like you added to it's in a movie. It's in your movie of Deadpool.
And that was
cool.
creative.
That was funny. It was
like
funny,
a bullet through the head.
That was funny.
Yeah. Then he does it in tweets now. Like he'll like just randomly comment. Like, fam, what are we doing?
Oh, you think he's beating a dead horse with that joke?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's just like, okay,
that's
dude,
my
we get
only
it.
issue.
Like that was your bad movie that you did that you regret. Cool. But Karan, or for all of you actually. So when I think it was New York Comic-Con where he was like, he said no. I think they were in another country. I think they were in Brazil. It was Brazil Comic-Con, and he said release the Snyder Cut. Do you guys think he was like being genuine with that, or it was just because of his characteristic of being a joke?
I think it's very creative. I think he's a very creative and funny and charismatic dude, and I think he's very well aware of like what the internet talk is at the moment. So it's not to say he wasn't genuine, but he also knew how to like stir the pot, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah.
But
he knew what the fuck he was doing.
Did David Ayer delete it?
I got a question.
Hit me. Hit us.
Can we talk about Suicide Squad?
Bro, like
yo, we got all night.
I don't. 'Cause I'm getting tired.
This is gonna be the extended cut, bro. Like, this is a Zack
Oh
Snyder
my god!
podcast.
And they sold that extended cut Blu-ray as like, additional scenes.
That was bullshit.
What
the additional
the
scenes
5
were
minutes,
walking down a fucking alley, and then the bike scene with Harley. That's it.
That was bullshit.
Can
and I bought it. Fuck me.
So Ariel, literally, Ariel, you know how they released BVS, right? And then they're like, "Oh, get BVS Ultimate Edition because it has 30 minutes of deleted footage
and rated R."
That 30-minute and rated R, and that 30 minutes was like, "Oh, like this was really important. Maybe you shouldn't have cut it out from the movie that we saw in theaters." Mm-hmm. And BVS Ultimate Edition is probably top 5, if not top 3 greatest comic book movies of all time. So with Suicide Squad, don't say cap. That is not cap. That is not cap. Stop it.
This isn't a cap?
That's a cap. What I said was not a cap. But so they did the same thing with Suicide Squad, except they're like, oh, here's what was in theaters. And then they're like, let's just add 2 other scenes that were cut, deleted.
And the worst part is they knew everyone wanted more Joker scenes.
Yep.
And they really, really just sold it on extra Joker scenes, but it did nothing. I still don't feel like we know enough about Jared Leto's Joker to really be like
absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I saw someone say that Jared Leto's Joker is the greatest Joker of all time. And if that's your opinion, great.
False.
Yo, Ariel, you should point to the...
That's when you point to your cap.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I... Don't get me wrong. There was some scenes, especially like the one with the common scene and the one where he sits on the guy's lap and like smacks his face. I was like,
that's my point, bro.
But
there was going to be more trash.
No. But look, there were 2 scenes. The one with
helicopter,
where he's shooting and he's laughing. His laugh was great there. I love his laugh there, and I loved his laugh when he jumped in the vat of acid with Harley, and he started laughing there. I was like, that's fucking fire. That's dope. So he had his moments. And again, I've never particularly judged Jared Leto's Joker because of the reason we're talking about right now. We haven't had enough of his Joker to really judge, Like,
have to at one point.
100% could be true, though.
Right, but like Joaquin gets his own movie. So it's like
Joaquin.
Yeah. Joaquin gets his own movie. And David Ayer actually pointed that out too. He wasn't like bitter about it, but he was just like, yo, like imagine they fucked up Todd Phillips's Joaquin Joker's movie. Like they didn't make it that rated R. Like imagine they cut that shit to pieces. That's basically how I feel. So with all this that David Ayer is saying, I'm just like, I'm interested. Like I want to see this. I want to see if this genuinely is better. And I want to see more Joker. I love the Joker. So it's like, I love the gangster, I run Gotham type shit, but we didn't really get that. We kind of just got split. Like, oh, we know he is, but we didn't really get to see that. But apparently he was supposed to cut a deal with like Enchantress, and that was my main problem with the movie was Enchantress and her bum ass brother.
Oh, she did the thriller, bro.
So fucking pointless.
Yeah.
Outside of that hand flip transition or her transformation.
Oh, that was
that was such a great trend. Yeah.
Outside of that, I was like, I don't want to watch this. Yeah, exactly.
It was a real.
She did this at one point. She was like, brother. It was just.
I'm like
her dancing and like everything. Was just
you can clearly see that
you could have chosen any other actor to do that.
They dropped the ball on a lot,
right? Because they casted a great actress for the role, so it's like utilize that.
Utilize
like,
it. Jared Leto.
Utilize that.
Even with Rick Flag.
This was a Will Smith and Margot Robbie movie, just to let them shine.
With other great actors just alongside them, but not getting.
You know the elevator scene. You know the elevator scene with Margot Robbie. What was the point of that? Tell me, why did she just leave everyone go in the elevator?
Just to show more Harley fighting, just to get that hype.
And that's what Ariel said with the song. The song came out. That song was not required. It was out of nowhere.
A lot
of
times
just a
the music
Margot
just comes out of nowhere.
The only point of that entire film was so people could make Halloween costumes and say their relationship goals and put Kehlani in their caption, quoting that gangster song. That's the entire fucking legacy of that.
Yo, shout out Kehlani.
Kehlani's fine, by the way.
Yo, chill. That's Ariel's girl. Oh, fam.
How many girls does Ariel
next to
have?
him.
Too many.
One.
So he has his actual girl that's in the room.
He's right here.
And then he has like, Janae Ayoko and Kehlani.
What?
Any light-skinned girl.
She's about to slap the shit out of him.
Word. Throwing names, my guy. I don't know. Yo,
I hope the
Karan,
sound's only coming out of his headphones.
Karan de lo mío. It was nice meeting you, my guy. I gotta go.
But like so right, and for some reason Karan, I can't find that Deadpool David Ayer tweet.
But we saw that.
Yeah, it happened.
Yeah, it happened. So
it's a thing. Oh, did I put it on the store or did I send it to you guys? I don't know. Who cares?
Whatever.
Let me go to your IG.
But what I was gonna say too, like he's been tweeting a lot, was that like Katana was supposed to have more shine. Like he said, all the characters were supposed to be fleshed out more, and he ignored, like there was a question like, oh, what was the runtime of your movie? And he said, like the runtime is irrelevant. Like what matters is like the story. So it's like,
it sounds like he didn't really have an answer.
right. It kind of like he was like dodging that, but like I'm still curious. Like if more characters were gonna get fleshed out, especially Katana. Katana's dope. And she kind of just appeared, like she just showed up, and like they briefly like, oh yeah, like all the people she kills is on her sword, and that's it. That's basically all she did. I'm just like, she's a dope ass character.
I started getting scenes from Arrow confused with the movie, because it wasn't she in Arrow.
She was Katana was, yes, Katana was, and the actress is also in The Boys.
Oh yeah, she plays the
Karen, right?
Yeah.
What's her last name? Karen. I don't know.
Karen.
Whoa.
Karen.
Karen Fukuhara.
Wait.
You can't say stuff like that.
Wait, hold on.
¿Qué pasó?
I just realized, because Karan, your name is spelled like Karen, right?
It is.
So now I know why you was
my hidden agenda.
Yeah, hidden agenda. He doesn't want to be called Karen.
Karen is the new N-word.
Karan.
They can try to push that forever. That's not gonna happen. But wait, there's something that I want to mention. You said that about Batman, right, Karan? That how it could kind of throw people off in terms of having a Batman in the theaters and then Ben Affleck on streaming. I think that two things could coexist as once. Same way that a Joker film can exist, and then we can get something else further down the line. Because when the Joker film came out, everybody was like, "Is this all connected? Is this all connected?"
Right.
Nothing was connected, and it was still good. You know what I'm saying? So
it doesn't have to be connected, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like with Suicide Squad, maybe they can kind of take that same avenue. Maybe, I don't know. I hope that the Ayer cut kind of has that kind of vibe to it, where it's just like, yo, this exists, yes, but it's not.
He said he's on record of saying that there's enough Joker footage there to be a separate film.
A whole movie, yep.
So if I'm getting a 3-hour Ayer cut, let's get it. I'm with it. You know?
And he also said in the past that one of his regrets is not making Joker the main villain. Which I think initially should have been the plan from the jump. And I think it should have just led to putting Harley in a tough predicament of like, if she's going to choose a new friend.
They went up against a god. Like, weren't they like gods in a previous world or whatever? Yeah. How do you have these normal people go up against Enchantress?
Exactly.
Mad regular. And Captain Boomerang. I'd love to have him on my team against a god. Fam.
Bro, and they were like, yeah, give me Slipknot. I want Slipknot. Yeah. Bro, what the fuck is Slipknot?
I'm telling y'all, that movie probably initially was never supposed to exist. I'm telling y'all, it's probably just like Zach, just make your 5 films. We're not going to give you
a filler episode, bro.
Yeah.
Well,
filler episode. Damn.
And that's a good point, too, because maybe if Zach and Warner Brothers were having the discussion, Zach was probably like, okay, like if we're going to have this, let's have it tie in leading up to Justice League. So let's have Parademons and have
Parademons.
Right. And because then, regardless if it's like a filler, it's still a connected filler, which people will still get excited about because they're like, oh shit. Like
DCU.
Right. And it's like, let's say Suicide Squad loses, and that's exactly why Ben Affleck, Batman, steps into Amanda Waller. It's like, give me the files, give me the metahumans, because since y'all can't take care of this, I'm gonna take care of this. Me and my squad. You feel me? That was the best part of the whole movie. Like the post credit scene.
At the end of that, I said. At the end of that, I was like, "Fuck."
Wait, you said fuck? Why?
Because I'm like, God damn it! Like, we're not even getting that. Like, then we got Justice League fan made movie.
You know what's really telling is that I think Man of Steel and BVS, neither of those have post-credit scenes.
Yeah,
right.
That's the thing about Zach. It's like
and Nolan.
So Nolan don't fuck with that shit. Nolan's just like, here's my movie.
It's like, yo, right.
So that's another important distinguishing factor of like Suicide Squad is the first film that has a post-credit scene. I think Wonder Woman did as well. Wonder Woman didn't either.
Wait, what was the post-credit scene for Suicide Squad again?
The Ben Affleck.
Okay.
Yeah, Wonder Woman didn't.
Like in the regular theatrical.
I would never do that, right? If you have another competitor who is known for something,
don't copy them, right?
Don't copy just let them have it. Let them have it. Figure some shit out.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like I think in the case for Nolan and Snyder, like especially like Zach, like we know it's a connected universe, but BVS was its own film. Like, yeah, we had, Superman died, but even if we didn't get a sequel to that, which we still haven't, we're finally getting in 2021. But we can still look back at that movie and be like, that was its own movie. BVS was its own thing, And although it does tie into Man of Steel was its own thing. Mm-hmm. So and that's like that's been my main issue with the MCU. It's like some films are just fillers. It's just like we're just waiting for the next big thing to happen, and that's annoying. Yeah. And that's exactly what we're discussing now with this movie, with Suicide Squad, right? It does feel like it was just a filler. Like, why couldn't this be? Okay, let's say it's a filler. We're filling this in. Make it good though. Make it a good filler. Like
that's all you got to do, bro.
But again, like I said, by no means do I consider it a good movie. I just had fun with it. Like I could watch it and just enjoy myself with it.
Interesting.
Like that's just because just having the characters there. Like I thought the action was good, to a certain extent. Again, Enchantress, yikes. Whatever her brother's name was like Incubus, right? Yikes. Change it. But I thought you liked him.
Yeah, he was kind of badass. He was just fucking people up.
Wait, who was badass?
Incubus?
No, not deadass. Badass. He said, "Who was deadass?"
Y'all are from New York.
I mean, look at my hat.
Where the Timbs at?
Where Magic stands up, he's wearing Timbs. But like again, if we are getting this HBO Max Ayer cut, I'm all for it. And again, I think everyone who's with the Snyderverse, into the Snyderverse, would watch it regardless, just because. Especially if they're like, hey, we're promoting Steppenwolf, we're promoting Parademons.
You know what? Now that we've spoken about this, I'm not sure if I even want the Ayer cut, to be honest with you.
Ooh.
Because I'm really thinking about it. I don't feel like that film needs to exist within that if we're gonna like look at it, and Zach I think has gone on record of kind of just saying like 5 films. He's really beat that down.
Right.
So
I get what you mean.
So if you see the Justice League, right? Even if those characters don't get individual films, and in a 5-film arc, you see them go through a lot together.
Exactly.
All around Superman, I think that is very innovative.
Yeah.
Because it leaves space to then say, okay, now we're gonna go the MCU route of like, all right, Zach had his 5 films, and now we can officially build a cinematic universe. Because when you think about how grossly underprepared WB was to even bounce back after the whole Zach thing, right? Yeah. Like, there's still no Flash solo. There was no Batman film. You had Wonder Woman and Aquaman, and then they kind of shoehorned Shazam in there, and then they went to Birds of Prey.
Yeah. So it's weird. It's weird.
It's like the core Justice League still still has no appearances, really.
So that's why, like, and I think
agree with the Suicide Squad thing, but the only reason why I'd want the Ayer cut is to see more Joker, just because I want to see Jared Leto's potential. And that's it.
Exactly.
Yes.
He went method, and we kind of saw it 5 minutes. I feel like it was under deserving of, as an audience member, at least, because like you hyped this up. We heard all about the behind the scenes antics that he was involved in, and it's just like, really?
Even the trailers, bro. The trailers focused on Joker.
Yeah.
Only they promoted.
You heard about that guy that sued Warner Brothers for false
for Joker?
False advertising?
Yeah, for false advertising.
Damn.
Yeah, he was like, yo.
I hope he won.
I doubt
it. Wow, y'all are Roasting this. Damn.
Junior,
garbage.
Yes, sir.
Would you say Birds of Prey is better than Shazam?
Yes.
Yeah.
What in the fuck?
Bro, Shazam is
they hated
bottom
Shazam.
3, bro.
They hated Shazam.
I didn't really hate it. It just wasn't for me.
Bro, the way
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I enjoyed Suicide Squad more than I did Shazam. I swear to God.
You're bugging.
Hell yeah.
I swear to God.
Y'all
Actually,
are
I
wild.
rather watch Shazam.
You're absolutely fucking bugging.
Y'all are fucking wild. All right, give me the
hot takes.
Give me the DCU ranking. Let's do
this before.
Who's going first?
We'll do it again.
Who's going first?
I think I got mine.
Me and Junior are similar.
It's a tie between all of them.
Shazam bottom.
Nah, go from the top.
Top? Ew, why?
All right, then go on the bottom. Then you like the bottom?
Yeah. I feel like that's how a list should go.
Just go.
All right.
I bet. BVS, that psych, stupid. Shazam.
Okay.
Wow.
Suicide Squad.
Not gonna
You
put
have
Justice League.
Suicide Squad over Shazam, my guy.
I do.
That is.
By the way, the fan-made Justice League film is not a part of this.
Okay.
Because that's a fan-made film. So
it hasn't come out yet.
It hasn't come out yet.
Official.
It hasn't come out yet. Wow, like they promoted it back in 2016. It's only come out in 2021.
Worldwide release, bro.
Okay.
All right, bet. So, Shazam, Suicide Squad, Birds of Prey, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Man of Steel, BVS Ultimate Edition. But the more I watch Man of Steel, the more it's creeping up on BVS too, because it's just like that is probably the second, third best origin movie ever.
Damn.
Batman Begins.
Batman Begins definitely was my favorite.
Hell yeah.
I would say Iron Man. Ooh, Spider-Man. Yeah.
Homecoming?
Nah.
God forbid. Hell no.
Oh my God.
No.
We all didn't like Homecoming except for
and what about Far From Home? What about Far From Home?
I didn't mind Far From Home.
Far From Home was good. Far From Home, I liked it a lot.
My main problem with Far From Home was the repetitiveness of Tony Stark in a Spider-Man movie.
Right.
It's just like, all right, Spider-Man, Tony Stark, like always. It's always been that way. Like Spider-Man's his own character. Like he's way bigger than Iron Man ever. So like, give him his own movie. So I hope the third one. I hope whatever they're doing with the Sonyverse. Him at all.
They're gonna mention him, bro.
Yo,
they're not.
Mark, Karam, when you heard that Spider-Man was no longer in the MCU, how excited were you?
Hella excited.
Same. I was very, very excited.
I'm telling you, Kevin Feige doesn't understand superheroes. I keep telling y'all. Look what he's done with every single one of them.
Yo, he's dead upset. He's like,
look what they did to the Incredible Hulk.
Oh no, not the Hulk.
Bro,
Incredible Hulk was dope.
Fire
so
movie.
Good.
Yes. Top 5 MCU. My opinion.
So hold on. We were supposed to have this on one of our latest podcasts.
Okay.
We were discussing Edward Norton or Mark Ruffalo. I'm Edward Norton all the way.
Norton, and you could give it to Avengers Mark Ruffalo. Where he's still
the first Avengers, right?
Yeah, where he's still taking himself seriously. And not like Ruffalo personally, but like they're still taking him seriously.
Right.
Like when he transforms, it's like a moment of fear because they don't know what the fuck's gonna happen when they're on the carrier.
It's like, and that's what the Hulk is supposed to be. It's like,
and like the pain in his eyes as he's like looking at Natasha and he's like about to transform and everything. Like the fear and the pain and all that.
They made the Hulk the biggest pussy, bro.
And we also see that in Age of Ultron. Like he feels bad about what he does.
Age of Ultron has some really interesting ideas. And like people can hate on Joss Whedon for Justice League, but he did his thing, in my opinion, between Age of Ultron and First Avengers.
Yes, sir. Even though the First Avengers looks like a TV movie, but anyway.
So continue y'all rankings.
No, I'm
for
talking
DCU?
about. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, DCU.
Who wants to go next? Want me to go next?
I'll go.
All right, let's hear it.
Suicide Squad.
That's the number one, by the way.
Oh hell no. Come back to me. Sorry.
Wow.
I'll go.
God, he had a whole 5 minutes.
I know.
Suicide Squad.
Mm.
Sorry. I'm actually gonna put Justice League in there because I always want to show how much I hate it.
Good
Justice
call.
League.
Mm.
Shazam.
Wow.
Suicide Squad.
Okay.
Birds of Prey. Aquaman. Wonder Woman. Man of Steel.
Same
BVS.
list.
Zack
Damn.
Snyder's Justice League is up top.
You haven't even seen it.
Wow.
Exactly.
Okay.
They don't matter. It's gonna be good. Cap.
Mine's the same as theirs, I guess, but I'm just switching
Shazam
and
Suicide Squad?
Suicide Squad. Because Shazam is definitely better than Suicide Squad.
I mean, listen, I watched Suicide Squad 4 times.
Oh my God, poor soul.
I watched it in the theater twice. All right, look.
Torture.
First time it was with Junior. Second time it was a date. All right. I was like, fuck
Okay.
it. I'll watch Suicide Squad.
Was it a good date or a bad date?
Nothing happened. It was whack. Third.
She was like, "Why he take me to watch this bum ass movie?"
Yeah, for real. That's probably why. Never mind. I'm not getting into it.
Sorry.
Third time was because it was the extended cut, and fourth time was because of the podcast. So
Nice.
I gotta watch.
Ayer.
I gotta watch Shazam again.
For me, it's I guess.
So enthusiastic.
He's like
I really
Ant-Man.
don't care. I really don't care.
Doctor Strange.
So all right, so it's gonna be
Good.
Justice League, Suicide Squad, Shazam, Aquaman, the first, Wonder Woman up until wait, Birds of Prey after that.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then Aquaman, and then Wonder Woman, but everything in Wonder Woman up until Ares shows up, I think it's solid. I think it's pretty
Interesting.
I like that.
Ares,
fact,
I think, is a complete waste. Like
Wait.
it was just a big CGI fest that was not really necessary.
Mm.
Yeah, but and
So you didn't buy the trope of Ares controlling everything from behind the scenes and just like, oh, humans are trash. They're gonna.
That was cooler than him showing up and going, "All right, boss fight time."
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? It would have been cooler.
He is
for
a
him.
god.
Exactly. It would have been cooler for him to be like almost
More impactful.
More impactful. Like, oh, I'll see you around. Like, I'm still gonna be here. Like, war is gonna be forever on this earth for as long as I'm around. So I think that would have been more telling as that.
So you're saying if Zack Snyder directed it, it would have been like complete.
Nah,
the third act would have been.
Nah, I just think that Patty Jenkins needs another go at it, and hopefully the second one is better.
I think Wonder Woman 84 is going to be dope. I know the TheNiceCast has his takes because it's more colorful in the trailers, so he's upset about that.
Yeah, I did. Like, I really fucked with Gal's muted again color tones in BVS, which is why BVS is my number one in the DCU. And then Man of Steel is right under it. But outside of that, yeah, that's my list.
All right, Karan, special guest.
So,
let's hear it.
Shazam is number one.
I haven't seen Birds of Prey, so I can't put it anywhere.
Yeah, that's fair.
You can put it above
let's get on that. Let's get on that. Come on.
So I'll say Justice League, Suicide Squad, Aquaman, Shazam, Wonder Woman, Man of Steel, BVS.
That's a solid list. Solid.
Wait, you put Wonder Woman over Man of Steel?
No, Man of Steel over Wonder Woman. I put Wonder Woman underneath Shazam.
Oh, got you.
But Shazam over Aquaman.
Got you. These are so
opinions.
What we're saying is BVS just is, you know.
This is the GOAT.
It's just
yeah.
But yo,
Zack Snyder top 2 for all of us.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like into the Snyderverse. That's basically what it is. But so bet we had our talk about Suicide Squad, sort of, kind of, not really. Who cares? But so for our final thoughts, you know, as we wrap things up, like Karan,
to give it a rating.
Oh yes, our ratings.
We gotta break it down. How we do that?
Our trash scale. So y'all know me.
Yeah, you're somehow had fun watching this. I did not.
I had fun. Was it really that bad? like yes and no. Like it's bad, but it's
give
enjoyable.
me an MCU counterpart to your level of enjoyment of Suicide Squad, so I can kind of gauge.
Okay.
So when you say you enjoyed it, I'm trying to understand what you enjoyed exactly. So if you put it in the context of an MCU film, I'll be like, I get it. Because I think Green Lantern is better than Suicide Squad. If we want to be honest, and like I said, I think Green Lantern's an MCU film.
So what's an MCU?
Could be better than another.
So what's an MCU movie that you particularly don't like but you enjoy? Then that I think that's a better way, because that would be the equivalent of what Suicide Squad is for me.
That you don't like but you enjoy?
No, that's a bad movie. Like that Karan thinks it's a bad movie, but like he can be sitting down and it'll be on and he'll just leave it on for background noise and be like, and look up every once now and then and be like, oh, I remember that scene. It's pretty dope.
I'm on the list of
Captain
MCU
Marvel?
films right. Yeah, Captain Marvel. Interesting. That's an interesting idea. Damn.
I'm trying to compare it to like, cause
Homecoming?
maybe Guardian. I would say, what'd you feel about Guardians 2? Horrible. Wow.
Horrible until it started to take itself seriously with the ego and Star-Lord scene.
You talking about like
when
the
he
ego
turned into a
subplot?
Pac-Man.
Yeah, where he admits
before
that
the
yo,
Pac-Man.
I put the tumor. I put the tumor in your mother. Or
That was beast.
At that point, I was like, all right.
But I remember him turning into Pac. I remember him, and I got tight. I was like,
are you fucking serious, bro?
But there's just
You
so
could
many
have done anything.
jokes. It's just like
I don't like jokes. That's what.
But you know what it is too. That's what. So Karan, what'd you think of Thor Ragnarok? I think that's what I would best compare Suicide Squad with. I enjoy it. I think it was I like it, but I didn't like it because I laughed too much. I was just like, this is a comedy movie. Like, what are we doing here? It's not taking itself serious. So I'm like, I don't care about it.
Thor Ragnarok is conflicting. Because it's bad, but it's watchable bad, in my opinion.
So there you go. That's Suicide Squad for me.
But Ragnarok is better than Suicide Squad, no?
It is.
You're saying you told me to give you an example so we could compare, and that's what we're comparing it.
So then JB,
I just finished the whole bottle by myself.
So it's not as basically you're saying that in terms of
we shouldn't hold you to any of these opinions that you're saying.
So basically what you're saying is not as bad as
see
no, it's okay. So
this is Heat or
no, it's not Y'all Bugging. This is Heat. It's just as bad as when I first watched it. I enjoyed it then. I thought it was bad. I enjoyed it then. I watched it now. Same experience.
Okay.
So what's y'all trash rating?
let
me guess.
I'll go is that shit was actually somehow worse than I thought. It got worse this time around. It's
real
like
shit.
Because you're watching it back because like now the whole purpose of this segment is like you want to watch it and see and just kind of compare and
you're actually critiquing it now. You're actually critiquing it.
Like, and man, like you said, Karan, like as soon as that helicopter crash,
game over.
Yeah,
literally, like it was actually enjoyable up to that point. Like I liked the intros.
Beginning?
Yeah, I liked all the intros they did. I liked like it was just quick little cuts of people just like of you getting the basic gist of who they are and what they can do, like ability wise. And then, but after they crash, it was just like, ugh, kill me now. It was just.
So I'm gonna call David Ayer and be like, yo, like that crash scene, never make it happen because after that, something people just don't like it.
Make it good after that. That's all you have to do.
Change it.
So what was the rest of y'all? Brian? Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, Mark. Continue.
No. That's it.
All right. I'm with Mark. It's worse than what I remember. Every time I watch it, the more I watch it, the more I'm like, damn, this shit really sucked. The whole like beginning, it was chopped the fuck up. That shit was ass. Mm-hmm. It was horrible.
You could tell something was off. It's like they had no idea what the fuck to make of this movie. They try to salvage it just to get it out.
Yep.
But it's like Junior, I'm really shocked that you like it as much as you do. I'm really trying
to. He's frying.
I know as a so Karan, we call ourselves the Zach Bengers, the Avengers, but into the Zachverse, into the Snyderverse. So
leader.
So because I'm always following up on Zach.
He's cap, no cap.
I'm like what's Zach viral now? What's on his viral? What's on his tweets? But nah, like. Yeah, I don't know. Is it something about it that I'm just like, I enjoy the shit out of this movie? It's just my guilty pleasure. There you go. That's okay. That's my guilty pleasure.
All right, so I get it.
So you like Killer Croc?
Killer Croc?
I'm beautiful.
Bro, BET. He wants to watch BET. That's what his request was.
That is,
and the way he crawled into the sewer.
He's like y'all just tourists.
What is everyone's superhero guilty pleasure then? If Suicide Squad is Junior's guilty pleasure,
I don't really
X-Men.
have superhero guilty pleasure. I have
all of X-Men.
I have
all of X-Men.
Batman
X-Men.
and Robin.
Oh my god, a lot of gagging over there. I don't know. I don't know what my guilty pleasure would be. Let me think about that.
Transformers for sure.
Mark, I thought yours was X-Men too, wasn't it?
You know what?
Nah.
Batman and Robin is better than Suicide Squad.
Absolutely.
False.
At least it's a cohesive thought.
Yeah, I need to watch Batman and Robin.
So Karan,
listen, I'm gonna drop the ultimate hot take for you, gentlemen. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
Here we go. Drum roll.
Reload.
Batman Returns is the worst piece of Batman content to ever exist.
That's not even a hot take.
Batman fucking Returns. Is it? I think people love Batman Returns, don't they?
I love Batman Returns.
Yeah.
Fuck everything before Nolan.
Danny DeVito. That's true to a certain extent. That's true to a certain extent.
Except for the first Batman film, shout out to Tim Burton. That was cool because like they did
Batman Forever was kind of cool.
But let's be honest, Christopher Nolan, that just changed everything.
He revolutionized
100%,
everything.
100%.
Like,
and then Zach did it a couple years later too.
My bad to go off on a tangent there, but
nah, you're good. So Karan, basically, whenever we do our Batman and Robin, was it really that bad? You're joining.
Oh wait, we have to do that.
Listen, listen. You want another hot take? Batman and Robin is low key a masterpiece. I will gladly.
All right.
Listen, I will gladly die on that hill.
You know Joel Schumacher. You have to.
Batman and Robin.
Stop. That's not even a hot take.
It's low key amazing, bro. It's so bad, but it is
good.
Incredible.
He had bat nipples.
I will take bat nipples over anything in Suicide. I will take that over you got beef any fucking day.
And
Harley doing a weird ass stripping sequence dance.
Oh, I loved it. I fucking loved it.
Oh,
I mean, I'm not. It's like I fucking loved it.
Goes to Australia.
I studied abroad in Australia and fell in love with Margot Robbie. I fell in love with Margot Robbie and then I went to Australia because I didn't see her though. But
but to add to the Batman and Robin thing, I think Batman and Robin is basically the Adam West TV show with a higher budget and modernized because of how ridiculous and whimsical it is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And also, even as a kid, I saw it and I was just like, back to Power Rangers, I guess.
Because this shit was garbage.
Yeah.
So, okay, I guess I know.
The trash for me.
Yeah.
Can I create a new one?
What's the new one?
I don't ever want to see this again.
Wow.
I agree 100% with him. That is exactly mine.
Yeah, I don't want to press play on this. Yeah. This does not matter. Don't care.
I'm changing my ranking to that.
I feel sorry. I feel sorry for Will Smith.
My girl
on his rap sheet.
My girl's gonna listen to this and be so disappointed.
Will Smith wasn't terrible in the movie though. Like
it's just he was under.
He was Will Smith.
He was Will Smith.
He wasn't Deadshot. He was Will Smith.
Why don't he want me, man?
I like his relationship with Rick Flag.
That's what David Ayer was saying.
No, his banter with Rick Flag was solid because Joel Kinnaman is a great actor too. Shout out to Joel.
And when he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna need you to go handle your girl, go up there and just smack her on the ass real quick."
He was being Will Smith there. Even
OD Will Smith.
Yo, he's like, Phil Jackson? Triangle, bitch.
Did y'all like The Last Dance by any chance?
I fucking loved it.
Dude. Amazing.
We're talking
Loved
about Phil
it.
Yeah, okay.
I'm watching the last 2 episodes after this podcast, by the way.
You haven't finished it yet.
You want me to tell you what happens in the end?
So you watch Suicide Squad
they won a
over The Last
championship.
Dance. You would rather do that then.
Suicide Squad was for work.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, dude. I watch that shit. I watch that shit every day, or every Sunday live.
But yo, NiceCast. So as we close up here, we want to ask you, right?
Hit me.
My question to you is, you first started off as, would you at first have considered yourself a comic book account on Instagram and Twitter and all that, or no?
No.
What would you have considered yourself? A pop culture account?
Pop culture. Pop culture film. Yeah.
So I remember one time you had put on your story and you were like, and obviously you don't have to share this if you don't want to.
No, of course. Open book.
Right. But you had put like, oh, you like spoke with this, and this. And, that really kind of gave you like a different mentality on things of how you're going to start posting and things like that. So, and then from there, you completely changed up. Like you really kind of stopped, putting comic book stuff on there, and you sort of switched up to Indian mythology, which is dope regardless, because you sometimes post shit and I'm like, oh, I didn't know. It's kind of it reminds me of that's exactly what I was going to say. It reminds me like of when I was back in school, because I took like a class like and so like I learned more about like Islam and all these other religions that I had no idea about. So exactly. So that's how I feel reading some of your posts. I'm like, oh, like that's pretty dope. And then you post some Bollywood stuff, and I'm like, that's pretty funny.
Yo, Bollywood is super. Yo, that shit.
Bollywood is wild.
So
Bollywood is fucking amazing.
So like my question really to you is just like what happened? What engaged you to sort of transition? And do you think being a pop culture account, was that really? Do you feel for yourself that wasn't going to work out, and that's why you had to change it, or like what's going on?
I'm glad you asked that, because it's a deep question in a lot of ways, right? Like if you look at it from the sense of how much free marketing every single one of us do for Warner Brothers, for studios, for actors, for comic books, for characters, for whatever. I was at a point where I was trying to like take it to a different level, and I felt like they weren't taking me seriously. It's okay, so if you're interpreting it as like I'm doing over 2 million people on Instagram with nowhere close to that number of followers, troll accounts left and right, if you don't perceive that as valuable, and I'm making your shit more interesting, or I'm like giving your stuff a different perspective, or bringing a different conversation to it, and I'm trying to tell you like, hey, I'd love to interview these guys for press junkets, because I feel like press junkets, like there's so much space to innovate there. And
absolutely,
if you want to do press junkets, like people just put that shit on YouTube, but like no, press junket, if you look at the format of it, it's better suited for social media posts. So I had this entire thing of, okay, we should just do like a social media press junket, but I wasn't getting taken seriously, because they were just looking at me just like an IG account or whatever, right? And I'm like trying to explain to them that no, there's more to that. And then on Instagram, like subsequently, everyone's like, well, there's no talent in posting about your opinion. There's no value in that. And my whole thing was like, y'all don't understand how much work actually goes into it. Like y'all can steal shit off Twitter and repost, and you may not put work into it, but you gentlemen put work into your podcast. It's not easy to turn the cameras on and start talking. Like there's immense value in that. You're providing entertainment. You're providing value.
Yeah. And on top of that, we're all minorities, so that's something that doesn't exist. Right.
So when you start talking about yourself in that way, then people just look at you like, oh, he's just fucking arrogant, or he's this, or he's that, and it's like, no, it's not arrogance. It's like trying to.
You're proud of your craft.
It's confidence.
And it's like trying to tell you all something different about like, just because all this content appears on the internet, just because you can get this podcast on Spotify doesn't mean that 4 or 5 people didn't spend their time up until 12:15 a.m. to like put together moments for you to like listen to at the gym or on your commute or whatever. It didn't just like, this just didn't happen. This took a collective effort on everyone's end, right? And it takes talent to be able to talk about things and share your opinions and articulate your perspectives.
Yeah.
So that was one thing. And then also it was like this thing of representation as well, where like everyone's like, oh, I care so much about these characters and I want to be represented. And it's like, well, do you need Hollywood to represent you in that way? Like, do you need to see yourself as a superhero to feel empowered? Because if you can go and connect with your culture and learn more about your culture and why certain things are the way they are, I think that's true representation. So it's like a mix of all those things.
That's fire.
That's dope.
That's super fire.
And the reason I asked that question is because like I see all these accounts, like you said, like they'll be posting, like they'll have crazy amount of followers, crazy amount of likes and comments, and first of all, like Instagram is very, like, the algorithm is fucking garbage, and like that's why like I kind of joined Vero as well, because it's like hashtag escape the algorithm. But it's also because like we'll have one post that just blows up, over 100,000 views, and like for a little bit we're like, oh, we're the shit, and then the next one it's like, oh, it's at 300 views and just steadily growing. It's just like, what the, like, how right, it's like, how does that happen? But like, and you always post it, and like that's something that really resonates, because like you're saying right now, like we want this podcast to go somewhere, like we want to take it to 100%. Bigger and better things. And like right here, like I didn't, we just had this was probably like Ayer, what, like 3 hours, a 3-hour conversation. It wasn't an interview. Like we weren't interviewing, like hitting you with questions left and right.
Not at all.
And that's exactly what we want to keep doing, and do it with like a bunch of other people and get their perspective on things. Like you hit us with so many hot takes where I'm just like, what?
I told y'all, that's hot take heaven.
So it's
that's
like,
gonna be the name of the podcast.
Right. So it's like
you
and you also, like, when you put on your stories, like, oh, like engagement doesn't matter to me. And I can totally appreciate that, because we'll get 100,000 views on a podcast. I mean, well, I hope, I wish 100,000 views on like a Instagram post. But what means the most to me is when one of our followers hits us up and it's like, yo, I listened to that last episode.
That's what it's about, and that's what people don't realize.
And like, I'm like, I appreciate this so much fucking more. Like, I'm just like, that's dope.
Because there's substantive stuff here. Like an Instagram post, if you look at the way people consume information, it's like,
it's not meaningful.
It's a high and by. It's a scroll. That's literally is.
It's literally like a potato chip.
An article headline.
Reading
an article headline.
It's a potato chip, and you are just gonna eat the entire bag of chips on one sitting when you're on Instagram. But when you go into podcasting, when you go into YouTube, if you guys, I think you as a collective, like for example, if you guys like, once things open back up, you went to theaters and like maybe you start like a series of like getting people's initial reactions for the biggest films and shit like that. Like shit like that, if you guys start branching out that way, I think there's a lot of potential for all you, because it's so saturated too. Like we just had that chemistry where I could hop on and the dynamic could just be like, we've been talking and been doing this.
We were chilling, and that's the whole point. That's why we wanted that name for our podcast.
We're literally chilling,
right?
And that is because you gentlemen created that vibe, and not everyone can do that, because there are podcasts out there. And they've been doing it for a really long time, but it's just like there's no personality, there's no chemistry, there's no jokes. It's just like dry. So now you're fighting a situation where you have a talent for something, and someone else doesn't, but they're still doing it. So now you're trying to tell people like, no, this shit is different. So then you run the risk of being looked at as arrogant. The closest analogy I have now with the current climate is like, imagine if anyone could go play a pickup game at the Staples Center. Like, you just can't go play at the Staples Center. No. Like, it's fucking different. Like, you just can't go into an NBA arena and just start balling, and then the actual professional players come, and then you expect
like, the fuck are you doing here?
And if that was the case, and if that was the case, they would literally tell professional athletes, like, why am I gonna pay you when I just saw another basketball game before?
Exactly.
Like, why am I gonna? And that is exactly what social media has created, where and it's fucking wild.
Brian's
mind is exploding right now,
and it's fucking wild.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you guys are in kind of the media hub as well, and being close to New York. So I would definitely tell you all to really explore and expand it. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but you guys just have that chemistry and personality.
Yeah,
making it happen.
And we thank you so much for coming on. Like, like
Yeah.
You
Man,
obviously,
it's been a blast, bro.
unfortunately, I'm gonna have to tell everyone again that you created our logo.
Hey,
Oh God,
the shame.
But no, but nonetheless, like again, unbiased opinion, your best work yet. I have not seen you make a better. Our logo really is better than your logo. So, but it just, I look at it like it's honestly my screensaver. Make sure no one texted me, But it's like look at that, like that. Literally, that's what we want. We want to bring that vibe, and I'm glad. I hope that we kind of gave that to you. Like, you hopped on, and you're just like, yo. I'm like laying back.
It's like you're literally kicking it with friends. That's what it felt like.
That's exactly what we want.
And my whole point is that it's not easy to do that. Like it could have just been like boilerplate,
really awkward, or
boilerplate questions, and like all those the tangents we went on, like the as we're talking, we're like we all have like a million thoughts of like, oh, we can bring this up, we can bring this up, we can talk about this, we can talk about the MCU, we can talk about streaming wars, we can do all this. It's like
Junior, remember when we were at Maggie's and we were talking about how this is like how we want the podcast, like no structure, we just come on, we start somewhere
because we do have a docket.
Tangent, bro.
Yeah, we do have a docket.
I wrote a whole docket.
We're ready to throw it out at any time.
Exactly.
That's exactly what happened today.
If we forget
and adapt.
But
and another thing is because Karan, like, I saw the conversations you were having with Ray Fisher, and I'm just like, it wasn't an interview. Like, and that's not. I feel like in order to make the audience comfortable, like imagine you or like just anyone just constantly like, oh, this question. It's just like, that's so like, what the fuck?
I hate. Like, I can always tell when an interviewer, when they're asking questions and like they get an answer and they're okay, cool. Like, oh wow, that's really interesting. So anyway, how about this? And it's like
right. It's like,
did you really think it was interesting, or did you just want to move on?
Let's talk.
So wild is that soundbite. If
Ray popped on here, you all would flow just the same way him and I flowed, because we have the same approach. We're not trying to ask you scripted questions, and we're not trying to pump you for fucking information, right?
Exactly.
And we're not chasing clickbait shit, and that is important. And the reason why I'm saying that is not to sound arrogant or anything, but it's like, no, like some people have a different way of doing shit. Like, I don't care if you like or retweet my shit. I'm not trying to get on here and brag about my source. I'm not trying to get on here and brag about how I could just hit Zack Snyder up and have him come on.
And that's what I was gonna say. Like all these bloggers, especially on Twitter and Instagram, right? Like that's what I find crazy. It's like these bloggers and like these Instagram accounts. Nothing against them, obviously. Like they're doing what they want to do. Like that's fine. But it's like they'll have these many followers, these many likes, these many comments, but they can't get Zach and Ray to hop on their podcast like you did. Like I was like, yo, like,
because it's trust. It all comes down to trust. If you don't build a trust, and if you violate that trust, you really just fucked yourself up. Exactly. Okay, and it's like, all right, fuck yourself up but for what? For a single tweet that can give you some sort of viral feeling that you went viral
that for a drop of clout.
100%.
Gotta look at the long run, man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And on top of that,
these are conversations that I feel like people do not have, and they should, because it's important. Like how you present yourself. Like everyone is, first of all, brand or trying to brand, and you guys have a genius idea with Chillin With Villains. Like that's like, it's incredible. I think I told you that when you came to me for the logo design.
Yeah,
and it's just like, if God willing, you gentlemen have like maybe an actor or actress or maybe a director or something on a podcast one time.
Right.
You can be fans of theirs, but don't make sure you're like, I don't think you will, but don't fan out. Like, because people would hit me up and were like, "Whoa, Zach popped on and you didn't fan out, like you didn't care."
No,
like, I'm not
you're gonna make them feel awkward.
It's like, of course you feel honored. Exactly. You don't want them to be like, "Oh, thanks, yeah, okay, yeah." Like,
like, it just gets awkward. It doesn't feel.
You got to work hard for them to not look at you as a fan, but as a friend or someone they could trust.
100%. Like, you want them to feel like they're chilling, like they're not at work, they're not talking about work.
You don't have to like, give us the media answers and shit like that. Like, just relax.
Because in terms of like fanning out and stuff, it's really dope to have that kind of humility with an actor, because they're an actor. You know what I'm saying? Like already their status is way past what anything that a regular person can, attain or whatever. So just speaking to them regularly, because I watch press junkets, I watch interviews, I watch late night shows and stuff. I'm like, all right, a lot of this is very surface, a lot of it is family friendly, and a lot of it is not really, interesting conversations that they're having. And I feel like if you just approach it like of them as just a person, like I don't even know what I would ask Zach for, like off rip, but I would just straight up be like, yo, how are you doing? How about that for starters? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you doing? Like, what's going on?
Right. First question any human would ask another human. Hey, how are you?
Like, hey, how are you?
Like, not like, oh my God, like what's happening in Justice League? Like, it's just like,
that's cool. Like,
first of all, he's not gonna fucking tell you.
Right.
Yeah. He can't tell you. So for you to waste
a question. Yeah. They're like,
for you to waste his time on something he can't tell you is just like I would be offended if I was him in a weird way. I'd be like, yo, I'm not going to talk about it. Like, I'm not here to give you an exclusive scoop. And if I want to give that to you,
I'll do it.
Or maybe like through the natural course of the conversation, I reveal something. Like Ray revealed he auditioned for an MCU film at some point. Like he was going to be a Marvel character.
I love how you were like, does it relate to a panther of sorts? I was like, oh, boo.
Oh, God.
But yeah, man, it's like, it's wild, bro. Yeah. And you know what's really, and I think Ayer, you're tapping into this, my guy. You were like, they're not even asking insightful questions, but they're in those positions. Nope. You got press access. Yep. Yeah. And this is what really fucked me up. It's like, first of all, y'all have no social media presence. Y'all have no troll accounts. Y'all are not doing numbers. Y'all are not doing any of this, but you got access to screenings and you can actually talk to the actors and you want to ask dumbass questions about how was it preparing for this role?
That is to me, that's
such a generic fucking question.
That is one of the worst questions.
Like,
that is one of the worst questions.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's hard to have a conversation too if you're actually interviewing them. Like to have someone hop on a podcast. Joe Rogan says that all the time. He's like, that's why podcasts are dope, because you could just have them join and you just talk. If it's formal and you formalize it,
how you have a certain amount of time.
Yeah, exactly. And on top of that, even calling back to the Robert Downey Jr. press junket that he did during Age of Ultron, I believe, where he just walked out on the interview because the guy wanted to bring up the bullshit of his past. It's just like, fam, we're not here for that. Like, what?
Yeah. And there's a time and place for everything.
Exactly. Right. And he's like, this interview is over. Like, right there.
Yeah.
Bro, saying.
That's Robert Downey Jr.?
He snapped and was like, I'm out.
Yeah, like, fam, I'm out of here. Like, it's all about just being authentic when just approaching.
Yep.
It's a conversation, dude. If you can't have a conversation with somebody, then
just treat them like a person. There you go.
That's all it is.
Yo, Junior, you listened to the RDJ one with Joe Rogan, right?
Yes, I did.
I loved it.
Did he ever bring up that shit?
No, he didn't bring up anything from his past. He did bring up Iron Man and all that, but it was more casual fashion.
It was way more. It was and Joe Rogan has no idea what's going on with Marvel. He's just some guy that watches the movies, and they just have a normal conversation. It's not like he's digging in and asking these stupid questions.
Like they spoke about blackface during that conversation.
I was just about to mention.
Yeah, they spoke about Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder,
yeah. They spoke a lot more about that.
Super lit movie, by the way. It's one of my favorite comedy movies.
Amazing. Ben Stiller is a fucking comedian, like a comic goat.
That's the next level film, yeah.
Ben Stiller actually made me appreciate Tom Cruise. I don't know how, but I came out.
Tom Cruise in that film for sure.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, wait, you don't know? You didn't appreciate Tom Cruise?
No, I didn't. Because to be honest, I have yet to see a Mission Impossible film.
No way.
Bugging.
Boy.
I always had intention on watching it. I just never did it.
Those are fun movies to watch.
They are.
But
I feel like you would like them. It's kind of weird.
Really?
I'm not so sure if you would.
I'll use
with the James Bond shit.
Usually what I like, he doesn't. So
what's up, Karan?
And not to talk shit about Eunice, but I would use Eunice as a muse for this convo, right? How much promo has Eunice done for fucking CW shows?
He is our CW correspondent.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes.
So whenever he hops on,
what I would be really curious is if Eunice was to or if I was Eunice, this is what if he hears, I would say is like the way he talks about Grant and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Like Grant needs Eunice a lot. But when you shift the dynamic and you are just like, oh, this person liked my post and I'm so excited that they merely liked my post or whatever. It's like if I was Eunice, I would be hitting up CW emails daily. Like, yo, give me something. Give me some exclusive shit. Give me like some press. Give me a set visit.
So
I feel like he probably.
So here's the thing.
If he hasn't.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Eunice, my guy Eunice is
hold on. Wait. But if he has and he hasn't gotten that access, what does that tell you? Let's hypothetically
they probably think he's a kid. Yeah, he's young. He's too young. This, that, and the other.
So this kid is doing better marketing, and I'm gonna compliment Eunice here. This kid is doing better marketing for your shit than you have paid people to do. This kid is running his Instagram page better than any CW show's Instagram account.
And he calls out their shit too. Like if shit's not if something they do doesn't work, he's not afraid to call it out.
And
so
he's not. He made me
because
realize how crazy CW is. I didn't know that it has such a huge fan base because I never paid attention.
Neither did I.
It's crazy.
Like you get 10,000.
Clearly, you never did.
He amplified it.
I gave up on CW a while ago, and then when we met Eunice, I started following his account. Slowly and surely, every day I keep seeing his posts. I'm always like, damn, I kind of feel like watching CW again. Like, that's just how much.
If you're doing better marketing for someone who is getting paid that position, someone is getting paid $60, $70, $75, $80,000 from Warner Brothers or whoever runs CW just to make Instagram posts, and go look at the Instagram account for The Flash. And you can't go and tell me that Eunice is not more engaging.
I would wonder if like what would happen if for 1 week he didn't, like during this middle of the season, 1 week he didn't post at all, and then see the numbers, and then the next episode, because you have to do this in the middle, because you can't do it at the finale time, or whatever like that. But like you can do it in the middle and see what happens.
I am so happy you asked that, because if he doesn't, you know what his fear might be? I don't want to lose followers. I don't want to lose my.
I think he can afford to do it for a week, though.
But that's something.
Lose 100K in a week.
So and that's something you don't care about, right, Karan? You don't care about the followers. You don't care about losing followers.
No, not at all.
It's just an app, fam.
But here's my thing. So before we even hopped on like the podcast with you, like I had personally texted Eunice and let him know because like I said, like he's come on the podcast.
He's a friend,
for sure. Right, he's definitely a friend. So and what he said was like, yo, like this is the best decision for your podcast, because you obviously TheNiceCast, like you have, like even if you don't want to admit it, like everyone knows you, like you have that sort of clout in the comic book industry. Like, dude, you just
don't make me blush.
But like, dude, you just went live with the director of Release the Snyder Cut. So it's not like you're not a nobody. Like everyone fucking knows you. So it's like, I see that maturity level in him, like that, and like he obviously right. And so that's why like I'm very excited, especially when you brought it again. You brought it up, not us.
Not us.
I'm like, again, once we get off this podcast, I am going to FaceTime him. And this is on air as well, so he'll hear back, because he listens to all our casts. Like he said, he's like, "Yo, even with the TheNiceCast, I'm gonna tune in. I'm gonna listen." And I'm glad he is.
I was joking about the bitch ass at the beginning too, by the way.
Okay. I'm like,
you gotta put that out there because people are very sensitive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Eunice.
Right. Nah, he's from New York. He could take it. Don't worry.
Nah, we good up here.
Eunice, that was a joke, Eunice. Once again.
Karan, you give us the time and the place. I'll tell him the time and the place, and we got ourselves.
Honestly,
bring my popcorn.
He's mad or upset with me. I really don't. Like, we've gone back and forth in the past. Like, one time he got really upset with me was like somebody commented on a post of mine that said something that I considered to be like out of pocket, right? So the dude who commented had his shirt off in his little profile picture. So I replied back sarcastically, and I was like, "Why don't you just worry about taking pictures with your shirt off?" Okay. And he interpreted that as me body shaming the dude, and then I was like, "Okay, cool. If I was to give you the benefit of the doubt as like, okay, maybe to some degree I was body shaming, which I don't feel like my comment was body shaming. If it was,
I would say
if you can't see the fact, like if you're gonna acknowledge me body shaming, acknowledge the comment that dude left on my post as well before you want to cape. That was the first time we had our rift, and then like we started like following each other again after that, and then I thought we were close, and then all of a sudden it was like it fell apart again, and I don't understand why.
Got it.
And I mean that's fine. Like you don't have to follow me. It's not like we all don't have to like each other. You know what I'm saying?
But here's my thing with all this, especially like with all of us. You know, all 6 of us are minorities, and like if anything, like I feel like we need to stick together, especially for like the combo community, just because 100%. You know I feel like especially with everything going on in the world right now, like I think now more than ever, like I get it, like you said, it's not all the time everyone's gonna fuck with everyone. That happens, that's life. But if we at least can get an opportunity to like, you know, air everything out, and we're able to, and that could be a deciding factor whether we're able to recuperate from this, or it's just like, look, we're not going to see eye to eye on this, but okay, cool, we're going to move on. At least we know there's no tension. It's like we whether for better or for worse, like at least we squash the beef.
You know where I stand, I know where you stand. Let's just move on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I would love that, and you know,
I'm down for that. Whatever.
Say less.
Let's make it happen.
We will get that. We will get that going then.
But I just want to tell you, gentlemen, that what you do has immense value, and don't let any of these people on Instagram tell you otherwise.
We will not.
Don't let anybody fucking tell you otherwise that you don't. Or that like there's no value in an opinion or a perspective, because the only people that have that are completely out of touch. Because you have people like musicians starting podcasts and YouTube channels.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Joe Budden, I think, is one of the best lyricists of all time. Dude has the biggest podcast. What does he do? He's talking about other people's shit. Joe Budden is talking about George Floyd. Joe Budden is talking about Party Next Door's album. What is he doing? He's offering his opinion. What does Joe Rogan do when he has guests on? Just because they may be in elevated positions, just because he may have Elon Musk, everyone is just sharing their perspective.
Right.
If you have the, I feel like, audacity to tell someone that there's no value in a perspective, I can't honestly fuck with you, because I think you are the most out of touch person.
And what, like, one of the last things I want to say is just
hold on, sorry. What the fuck does Stephen A. Smith do every single day on First Take?
Literally says his opinion.
Give his fucking perspective.
Yeah.
And don't tell me memes don't have any value, because memes from Stephen A. Smith.
Listen, hey, you're talking to the meme. You're talking to the meme mascots. Yeah, he really is.
Mascots.
Dude, he's our soundbite.
Yeah.
Google.
So many Stephen A. Smiths here.
So now you are catapulting. Sorry, just to keep going. So you are catapulting. A meme account is catapulting Stephen A. Smith to a different position. So now when he's in a business deal, he can negotiate and tell people, "Yo, I'm a meme on Twitter." So I'm getting this much exposure. It's marketing. So now you are a marketer and don't even fucking know it. And then, but you have the audacity to tell people that they don't have any talent and shit like that. Like, how out of fucking touch are you?
Yeah.
The only reason why I have clients in Tampa and shit is because I've learned that shit I learned on Instagram. It's like, all right, if I can market comic book characters and superhero films and pop culture, of course I can go market a small business. It's all the same thing.
So, okay, two things. My last 2 points of the night. One, Brian and I talk about this all the time. Like, Joe Rogan will have people that completely don't share his opinion, and yet they'll have a great conversation on it. And I love that.
Because he knows how to talk to people. He says it all the time.
It's like, oh, like I don't agree with you, but it's like, okay, I can respect what you're telling me, and I'm just gonna tell you how I feel. And that's exactly
the
what
one with RDJ. He was like, even our DJ said it. He's like, I don't really know where your mind's at right now, because you were saying one thing and now you're kind of agreeing with me.
He's like, I don't want you to come back as Iron Man. But then, like 5 seconds later, he's like, you know what? Fuck it. That should be dope. You should come back as Iron Man. But then, and also too, Karan, what do you do exactly, if you don't mind me asking? Like, as a career, like
So just social media marketing for clients down in Florida. So we got an Indian restaurant. We got a firehouse. I don't know if you gentlemen have heard of Firehouse Subs.
Yeah,
but there's that. There's the whole Vero thing going on. So that's the thing, is like, you have to present yourself as knowledgeable about something and then use that to leverage into opportunities, right? So this thing with Vero is like they saw what I could do with Ray, so now they're like, yo, shit.
And now you got another one coming up. And
so
now you got another one coming up.
I'm telling them that I can podcast, and they're like, all right. And they trusted me with that, and that's amazing for them to trust me with that. And then,
someone said that they want you and Ray to be a thing, like a podcast thing.
Yeah, and you gentlemen have that too. It's not like I have two brains that I'm doing something at an elevated level. Like we all are capable, and we all have a similar outlook. So I just think it's wild how much free promo people do on social media, and it's like because you see it daily, like there's no perceived value in it.
But
like,
moral of the story, every post we're charging people now.
You guys should definitely start a Patreon because I'll sub it. I don't know if you guys have had the Patreon combo.
Well, through the sponsorship that we have, we do Anchor. That's like they distribute all our. I'm sure you know about Anchor. Yeah. They distribute it to all of our like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that. So shout out to Anchor. Yeah, shout out to Anchor while we're at it.
Shout out Anchor.
But so we do it through there. They're phenomenal. But no, definitely like we definitely want to and that's why I wanted to have you on here because I know like although in the past and still now, like you said, you got a death threat today. Like you still have those insightful. And we like through your conversation with Ray and through your conversation with Zach, I'm like, this guy seems like a guy we can have a conversation with. And it's like, look, we started at like 9:40. It is now like 12:40. And I'm just like, where has
Eastern
the time
Standard
gone?
Time.
Eastern Standard Time.
Not a single scripted question. Like we just fed off each other's energy from the get go.
That's all it is, my guy. That's all it is. And
not everyone can do that. And that I said this on Twitter. Like if your style is just interviewing question by question, there's nothing wrong with that. There's value in that as well. But the people that can just sit down and have a conversation, like I think that's very underrated, especially now because I think people are becoming more socially awkward in a weird way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's another layer to the combo as well.
Yeah.
That's a whole other pod.
We can get into that for like years.
But man, I mean, if y'all have nothing else, Karan, thank you
for joining, man.
Thank you guys for having me, man. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Hope you come back for another one.
Man.
Yeah, man. Let me know when it's up so I can promote and stuff.
Sounds
for
good.
Sure. Also, obviously people can follow him at TheNiceCast on Instagram. And is your handle the same on everything else?
TheNiceCast _ on Twitter.
Okay. All right. And on Vero, the same thing?
TheNiceCast on Vero as well.
All right.
Was the
I'll
NiceCast?
talk to you guys about something off record.
Okay.
Whenever we cut. But yeah.
All
right, guys. So thanks for chilling.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming through. And we'll see you
later.